Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Everyone. Domineering Druid, the Queen asks me to calm down. Chapter 1. Parallel World, New Year's Day of 24. When people all over the world were celebrating the new year, the red moon came and tens of millions of people disappeared. All countries were shocked and launched a series of investigations but found nothing. Until half a year later, cracks in time and space appeared all over the world. The disappeared people returned from the cracks. They showed various abilities and called themselves professionals. Along with the professionals, there were mysterious and unknown powers. They challenged the original world order and caused great turmoil. Until countries discovered that they could also gain professional abilities by being infected by the breath leaked from the cracks in time and space. So the era of universal professionalization came. At the same time, the breath of time and space is constantly eroding the ruins and mythical places in the real world. These places combined with mysterious powers to form a secret copy. 1.5 years after the red moon on New Year's Day. In the suburbs of the southern city of Shujia, a gorgeous aurora appeared in the sky. Buses full of people are rushing to the location of the aurora in an orderly manner. Some of these buses belong to professional companies, some belong to the army, and some belong to schools. As a member of Nanchang University, Chen Yu was on one of the two buses at this time. Watching the aurora in the sky getting closer and closer, everyone on the bus was very excited. Just because the aurora is the manifestation of the breath of space-time cracks. As long as you are infected by the aurora, you have a chance to activate your professional ability. Thus, you get a chance to change your life. In this year, they have already read the information about professionals thoroughly. The time of the space-time aurora usually lasts only 3 hours. Only those who are nearby have the opportunity to awaken. For this reason, many people are now traveling and wandering around the world, just to get in touch with the aurora earlier. Awakening professional ability one step faster than others, then you can develop yourself one step faster than others. Classmates, everyone is ready. I hope this time, all of us can awaken. The professional association has arrived in advance and arranged the venue. When the time comes, everyone can act according to the instructions. In the bus, a cute female teacher said to everyone with a smile. Awakening is not just for students, but also for teachers and drivers like them. The whole Nanchang University has come out in full force. In fact, almost everyone who could get out of the entire South City was rushing here. The 8-lane road was densely packed with cars. Look, it's a professional. The person sitting by the window suddenly shouted excitedly. Chen Yu followed their gaze and looked outside, and immediately found several figures flying in the sky in front of the road. They were wearing wizard robes, holding magic wands, and casting spells. You can see a halo radiating one by one, and I don't know what it does. In addition, there are 2 people riding griffins patrolling back and forth to keep the cars on the road in order. A private car has been trying to get around the gap. As a result, the griffin pounced down directly, grabbed it and threw it aside. Everyone keep order. If anyone disobeys orders, we will expel them directly, and we will not be responsible for any casualties. Hearing the words of the Griffin Knight, everyone calmed down. Times have really changed. In the car that was thrown away, the man would be seriously injured even if he didn't die, but no one cared at all. Chen Yu sighed in his heart, but he didn't care much. Since the emergence of professionals, the whole society has been changing rapidly. Survival of the fittest. From now on, fate will put the decision in your own hands. Everything depends on how you grasp it. There are strong and weak professions, but even the weakest is irreplaceable. There is no such thing as useless. Soon, the bus came under the aurora. Here you can already see a large number of association professionals maintaining order. All the cars passed through the aurora zone in an orderly manner, taking on the breath of time and space in this way. Obviously, the bus has no skylight, but the aurora fell on everyone without any hindrance. Everyone subconsciously closed their eyes and prayed in their hearts that they would awaken and activate. So far, people have not yet studied the principle of awakening. But half of the people awakened successfully in one go. Some took 2 or 3 times, and the one with the highest record took 8 times to awaken. Chen Yu suddenly felt a pain in his brow, and his eyes opened suddenly. A countdown appeared in his sight. 59, 59. The bus continued to move forward, and when it reached the edge of the aurora, someone got on the bus. The man held a disc in his hand, glanced at everyone, and then nodded and smiled. Yes, 35 out of 50 people have awakened. You should have seen the countdown in your retina. Now please follow me to get off the bus. Hearing this, some people on the bus stood up with a smile, and some looked annoyed and unwilling. But no one dared to try to resist, and the overturned car before had proved the fate of trying to resist. Chen Yu got off the bus with the crowd. The charming teacher also awakened this time, so she was still the leader. Everyone came to an open field, where at least thousands of people had gathered. The people of the association were registering their information. Those who have successfully awakened will be sucked into the new world in an hour, where they will officially change their jobs. After changing their jobs, they can officially open their professional abilities. In the new world, there are two ways to come back. One is to return voluntarily, and the other is to die in battle. If you die in battle, you will be reborn in the real world, but the upper limit is 9 times. For the convenience of management, the professional association requires them to return voluntarily within 1 day after changing jobs. After returning, they can go to the association for preliminary training. After confirming that they have a certain self-protection ability, they can enter the new world. This method avoids the professionals from wasting resurrection times to the greatest extent. The reason for stipulating 1 day is that it takes time to return voluntarily and find a safe area. There are still many people who awaken in Nanchang University, and the success rate is almost above 60%. The people gathered here excitedly discussed the follow-up actions. Some people also agreed to cooperate with each other if they descend together. There are also those who were originally school cadres or student union members, and they have begun to discuss cooperation matters. The official rule is to return after finding a safe area, but few people will really do this. Generally speaking, everyone tries to delay returning for 1 day. This day is the time for them to look for opportunities. I don't know where the news came from, saying that when you just awaken, you are likely to be lucky and encounter good things. Chen Yu did not participate in these, but waited quietly by the side. Until the countdown reached 0, his body became weak. When he appeared again, he was already in a dense forest. Congratulations on obtaining the profession, Druid. Professional ability integration completed, current level 55-1. Congratulations on getting the profession, Druid. Professional ability integration completed, current level 55-1. Individual attributes. Strength -10, Agility -10, Constitution -10, Spirit -15, Will -10. Skills. Nature Heart LV1. Harmony with nature, can communicate with all things in nature. Nature Power LV1. According to the environment, you can borrow the power of the natural environment. Natural elements must exist. Beast Soul LV1. Condensing soul beads and changing the body. You can get attribute and skill blessings. The current number is 0/5. Chen Yu felt that his body was changing. A small treasure chest came with this change. This is the gift of the awakened person's first activation. It is also one of the sources of the previous saying of awakening luck. Some people opened a lot of good equipment, props, etc. in the awakening treasure chest. More importantly, there is a chance to open talent in the treasure chest. After awakening a profession, the same profession will not be different in the early stage, and the starting point is the same. But if you get the talent blessing on this basis, then your career path will have new possibilities. Chen Yu took a deep breath and opened the treasure chest. A golden light exploded and gushed out to wrap him up. Congratulations on getting a set of novice equipment. Congratulations on getting a professional exclusive item, a soul bead. Congratulations on getting the world gift, talent, soul sacrifice. Soul sacrifice. When your beast soul dissipates, you can sacrifice it and inherit the beast soul ability. Perfect. Chen Yu smiled brightly. He got the talent. In the past year, he had nothing to do and looked at the registered professions on the internet. The evaluation of Druid in the career sequence is B level, which is a representative of being broad but not specialized. This natural camp profession can condense soul beads containing beast souls and fuse them into combat. If it is severely damaged, the beast soul will dissipate and cannot be condensed again in a short time. 80% of the druid's skills come from the beast soul. Losing the beast soul means losing combat power. The growth of beast souls requires experience energy just like the growth of one's own profession. The more beast souls there are, the more experience energy is consumed, which will seriously hinder the improvement of professional level. For such professions that require massive resources to cultivate, the country, institutions, and companies have always been very cautious. As for civilians who want to cultivate on their own, it is even more slim. But with talent there is hope. Talent is in line with the characteristics of the profession, and its role is to assist professionals in career development. At present, there is no systematic listing of talent information on the internet, because most people who have obtained talents keep it secret. But from the only talents that have been circulated, the effect is extremely good. Chen Yu carefully comprehended his talent. He found that this talent is completely the embodiment of great power. The collapse of the beast soul originally means that the druid has lost his combat power. But under the effect of talent he can in turn absorb the power of the beast soul and strengthen himself. In this way, he will be even stronger than in the state of possession. Just like playing a game and fighting a boss. After the first stage boss is defeated, the second stage will burst into a stronger state to fight. And Chen Yu's talent is his trump card to become a boss. Very good. This is equivalent to having 2 lives. I must strengthen myself at least once before returning. He put on the beginner equipment in the treasure chest, and added 10 points to all attributes. Then he picked up the soul bead again. Whether the druid can transform depends on the soul bead. Soul bead, Earth system, civet cat, excellent quality. The soul bead given in the treasure chest has been bound to the beast soul, which saves the trouble of newcomers to condense themselves. However, Chen Yu did not reject it. The first level Earth system is all ordinary beast souls. Civet cat is quite suitable for the current environment. After absorbing the soul bead into the body, Chen Yu activated the skill. The body immediately shook, and the next second a 1-meter-long black civet cat appeared in the original place. First level Earth, civet cat form LV1. Attribute blessing. Agility plus 60, Constitution plus 30, Spirit plus 20. Features, tearing. Attack has a 10% probability of causing wound tearing, and the physical attribute decreases. Skills. Swift attack. Perform a quick attack, 1 attack per second, 10 agility attribute, currently 8 attacks per second. Stealth. Conceal your voice and figure, blend into the environment. Chen Yu found that he got used to the new form very naturally, without any awkwardness. This may be the benefit of awakening profession, all skills are proficient once you get started. After the transformation of the spirit cat, his attributes also became Strength minus 10, 10, Agility minus 10, 10 plus 60, Constitution minus 10, 10 plus 30, Spirit minus 15, 10 plus 20, Will minus 10, 10. The lowest doubled by relying on equipment, and the highest agility doubled 8 times after stacking. The weakness of the druid is at least after the midterm. In the early stage, with the blessing of the beast spirit, the advantage of the druid profession is still very obvious. Not to mention Chen Yu with talent, soul sacrifice, he is fearless. Other druids have to be cautious when fighting, but he can just rush in. He can also use the beast soul to strengthen himself. After strengthening itself, it can be fed back to the beast soul form in turn, which is a reciprocating bonus. The only problem is that the soul beads need to consume resources to condense the beast soul again. Chen Fan did not stay for long. After getting familiar with his form and skills, he rushed out directly. Relying on the heart of nature, he can get feedback from the forest spirit. Where there are monster groups, where they are strong and where they are weak, it is as clear as turning on the radar. There are humans refreshing in the new world almost all the time. The forest where Chen Yu is located is very large, and there are a certain number of humans appearing here. Some of them have been scheduled in advance for training. At this time, a team is killing monster goblins in the forest. A ranger climbed on a tree and was responsible for guarding the surroundings. Suddenly, his eyes widened. I saw a double moon demon bear suddenly rolling out from behind the call in front. The roar of the demon bear scared away countless flying birds, and even the battle on the team's side was forced to stop. Several goblins took the opportunity to flee and luckily saved their lives. What's going on? A small commander-level double moon demon bear appeared and is going crazy. The demon bear is fighting a civet cat. Oh shit. The civet cat has such a fast attack speed, the demon bear can't defend at all. Hey! The demon bear finally hit the civet cat despite having its eyes scratched. Roar! In the distance, the demon bear roared happily and rushed into the valley. That civet cat, I see you are still alive this time. However, after the smoke and dust, the civet cat disappeared, replaced by Chen Yu. He sneered and stretched out his hand to shake. Soul Sacrifice. Twin Moon Demon Bear. A small commander-level boss monster, level 10. Its characteristics are thick skin and strong strength, and it can resist and fight. A level 10 knight will lose blood and feel chilled if he is slapped by the Twin Moon Demon Bear. It is a bully among low-level commanders. The team that came in for training had encountered it before, but they chose to retreat every time. Seeing the demon bear rushing back to the valley, everyone thought that the powerful civet cat was dead. By the way, how could the civet cat fight the demon bear? Could it be a druid? Gee, you are joking, this is a novice area, which novice dares to fight the demon bear alone? Everyone talked and laughed, but no one thought of going over to find out. If the demon bear is angered, it will be more trouble than gain. And in the valley, the demon bear with a ferocious face just rushed in, and a puzzled expression appeared on his face. The spirit cat that had beaten him so badly before was gone. In its place was a human being shrouded in mist. Chen Yu clenched his hands and activated his innate ability. He absorbed all the mist formed by the dissipation of the surrounding beast souls into his body. The next moment, his body made a crackling sound, and his aura swelled. Soul sacrifice successful, absorbing LV5 spirit cat beast soul. Chen Yu, Druid, level 55-1. Individual attributes. Strength -18, 10, right pointing arrow 28, 10. Agility -18, 10, right pointing arrow 122, 10. Constitution -30, 10, right pointing arrow 95, 10. Spirit -47, 10, right pointing arrow 93, 10. Will -18, 10, right pointing arrow 22, 10. New feature. Tier. With the equipment, Chen Yu's 3 attributes exceeded 100. Not only the enhanced attributes of the civet cat were inherited, but also the other attributes were enhanced. And the tearing characteristics of the civet cat were perfectly copied. Facing the confused demon bear, Chen Yu grinned. Now, start the second round. In the previous battle, Chen Yu relied on the agility of the LV5 civet cat to suppress the demon bear and cause damage. The current state of the demon bear has dropped to less than half. Facing Chen Yu, who rushed over with great momentum, the resistance of the demon bear seemed so weak. The battle ended in less than a minute. Chen Yu directly tore open the chest of the demon bear and tore the heart apart. A halo appeared under his feet, and a large amount of experience energy poured into his body. The experience energy brought to him by a small commander-level demon bear far exceeded the sum of the previous monsters. The soul of the demon bear is dissipating. Should the demon bear be extracted from the beast soul? The prompt in his mind sounded, and the pleasure brought by the upgrade made Chen Yu feel comfortable. He had fought here for most of the day before, and all the experience energy was invested in the cat spirit. Otherwise, with his previous experience and the experience of the magic bear, he could have reached level 10. Level 10 is the graduation line for novices, and this level means that he can travel freely in this forest. Unless he encounters a boss-level monster, no monster will be his opponent. But what made Chen Yu even happier was the last tip. As a small commander-level monster, the soul of the magic bear is strong enough and meets the conditions for using his beast soul skills. Chen Yu directly took out the soul bead in his body, activated the beast soul skill, and extracted the soul of the magic bear. A flash of light flashed, and the spirit cat contained in the soul orb dissipated and turned into a giant bear. The soul orb given by the novice treasure box can only contain one beast soul, one in and one out. The magic bear beast soul is generated, and the spirit cat beast soul disappears naturally. The spirit cat's experience value is also converted into the magic bear beast soul. Chen Yu's spirit cat has been severely damaged and dissipated. If you want to summon it again, you need to invest resources to repair it. It cannot be summoned again in a short period of time, so it disappears and there is no impact. Time waits for no one, and it can bring better benefits to directly change to a giant bear now. Congratulations on your successful condensation and obtaining the second level of the Earth, Giant Bear Form LV2. The Druid Bear Form is a third-level beast soul, which is not something that Chen Yu can transform at this stage. But he absorbed the cat spirit before and fought the magic bear with his original body. It left a great psychological shadow and fear seeds for the magic bear. The value of the second-level magic bear beast soul is far beyond any reward. The soul orb returned to the body, Chen Yu roared, and his body shape immediately changed into a pitch-black giant bear. Unlike the double moon magic bear, Chen Yu's shoulders do not have the double moon mark, but his palms are much stronger than the magic bear. Second level Earth, Magic Bear Form LV2. Attribute Blessing. Strength plus 50%, Constitution plus 50%. Feature Strong. Increase the growth coefficient of own strength. Skill. Charge. Automatically accumulate 10% of the power when attacking, looking for an opportunity to burst out at once, up to 500% accumulation. Shock Slap. Attack with additional shock waves, interrupt enemy skills or break enemy defense. Druid Blessing. Tier. After Chen Yu saw the specific parameters of the bear form, even though he was mentally prepared, he was still trembling with excitement. The magic bear form can be said to be directly and violently extreme. The attributes of the blessing are strength and constitution, and the percentage is doubled. In other words, the stronger the attributes of his original body, the stronger the blessing after the change. Moreover, the characteristic of the bear form is great strength, which directly increases the strength growth coefficient. This will lead to a significant increase in the strength blessing after the bear soul is upgraded. Seeing the performance of the magic bear, he also understood why his spirit cat was directly smashed by a slap. If anyone was slapped by the magic bear, they would probably doubt their lives, right? That is, the rank qualification of the twin moon magic bear itself is not enough. Otherwise, with this abnormal characteristic, it would never fall into the novice zone. As for Chen Yu's palms that are twice as large as those of ordinary magic bears after transformation, he estimated that it should be the change caused by the tearing characteristic. The cold bear claws have the tearing characteristic, plus its own skills. It is simply a killing machine. Chen Yu looked at the timer on the corner of the retina. It has been nearly 20 hours since he came in. There are more than 4 hours of free time before the deadline for return. He has to absorb the magic bear form within these 4 hours. The only one who can defeat him in his current demon bear form is a real commander level boss who is one level higher than the small commander level. Chen Yu found the tallest tree in the valley and put his hand on the bark. Use the heart of nature to communicate with the tree and ask where the most powerful monster in this area is. The crown of the tree shook slightly, advising Chen Yu not to be impulsive. But under Chen Yu's insistence, the tree finally told the approximate direction. In the northwest, in the dark cave more than 2 hours away from here, the dragon beetle king. One of the 3 kings of this dense forest. Level is LV20. Chen Yu took a deep breath, and his blood began to boil, and his bear eyes showed endless fighting spirit. If you can kill this boss, you will make a fortune. If you can't kill it, then explode the bear soul and absorb it directly. Repair it after returning to the real world. It's not a loss anyway. The transformation of the demon bear beast soul was successful. Chen Yu invested all the experience gained from the previous kill into the beast soul. Level 2 Earth, Demon Bear Form LV5. Attribute Blessing. Strength plus 80%, Constitution plus 55%. Characteristics. Power. Increase the coefficient of its own strength growth. Skills. Charge. Automatically accumulate 20% of the power when attacking, and look for an opportunity to burst out at once, with a maximum accumulation of 500%. Shock Slap. Attack with shock waves, interrupt enemy skills or break enemy defenses. The attributes of the level 5 Demon Bear Beast Soul are more powerful. Chen Yu also found out through the upgrade that the coefficient of the power attribute is doubled. Originally, if the promotion was normal, the power blessing should be 5% per level with the Constitution blessing. But with the power attribute, the strength attribute was increased to 10% alone. In the initial state, the increase in this attribute of the demon bear is already quite considerable. And he is only level 1 now, and he has not even absorbed the demon bear beast soul. When Chen Yu absorbs the magic bear, his individual quality will increase, and the numerical performance will be even more terrifying. The expected development route has been verified, which makes Chen Yu very happy. Sure enough, upgrading the beast soul is more practical than upgrading his own level. The only regret is that if the occupation level is not upgraded, there will be no skill points. Occupational skill points are related to occupational skills, and can only be obtained by upgrading the occupation level. Unless he raises the level, all skills will be limited to LV1. The skill list will not unlock new skills. But he is not in a hurry. Investing in beast souls is the most cost-effective way at this stage. Cancelling the magic bear form, Chen Yu returned to his original state. If you want to hurry, the human form is much more convenient than the magic bear form. It's a pity that there are no extra soul beads now, otherwise he will change into a civet cat, which is faster. Soul beads can only be made through the druid's beast soul skills. Maybe there are soul beads for sale in the real world, and I will find a way to buy them when I go back. Chen Yu peeled off the fur of the dead magic bear, tanned it with plant ash, and then put it on. Without the ability of a life-related profession, he could not make equipment out of the demon bear fur. But this thing is the most valuable thing on the demon bear, and it is impossible to lose it. Now wearing a bear skin, he really looks like a druid. Time is running out, and after Chen Yu determined the direction, he started to set off. Half an hour after he left, the team that had been leveling up nearby came to the valley. Seeing the traces of the battle left here, everyone's expressions were very serious. The demon bear is dead, and the skin has been stripped away. Skinning. Wild monsters won't do such a thing, it's a professional. According to the traces at the scene, there was only one person who participated in the battle from beginning to end, and that was the civet cat. That should be the druid. The opponent must be at least level 15 to kill the demon bear. The body of the demon bear was soon found, leaving only a pile of meat, and many situations were soon analyzed. There were a total of 8 people in the team, 3 of whom were level 10 professionals with considerable experience. The other 5 were rookies from level 1 to 3, and they looked at the corpse of the demon bear with awe. Many trees around them that were as thick as an adult's arms had fallen down, and the violent battle scene was very shocking. The team leader was a bearded knight who belonged to a security company under the professional association. They were professionals who had entered the new world early. On weekdays, they would take on some training jobs in exchange for points to exchange for props or rewards from the association. He was very clear about his own strength. Although the twin moon demon bear was only level 10, he was not able to deal with it. Even if he went with the other 2 level 10 professionals in the team, the result would be terrible. Unless he brought a nurse profession, but nurse professions were very valuable and could not be configured by a team like his. Okay, although the skin of the demon bear was stripped, the meat is also valuable, don't waste it. After confirming that the druid had left, the knight drew his sword and began to cut the body of the demon bear. Claws, skin and flesh are all effective living materials, and they can be exchanged for a lot of money. Because of the limit on the number of deaths, the real world is regarded as a safe rear. There are many transactions there, such as making equipment or exchanging props. The body of the twin moon demon bear at the small commander level, even without fur, can be sold for hundreds of thousands. Now everyone is still in the early stages of exploring the new world, and the prices of things are generally inflated. But 100,000 is enough for his team to update their equipment. As for the newcomers, haha, it's good to help you level up, but they don't get any benefits. Chen Yu didn't know anything about what happened after leaving. He ran all the way at this time, and in order to buy time, he didn't move the monsters along the way. Finally, after 2 hours, he arrived at the destination, the dark cave in the northwest. This is a low stone mountain area, but there are many caves at the foot of the mountain. Since approaching here within a mile, Chen Yu has not seen any monsters. I think it should be driven away by the breath of the boss here. Chen Yu directly activated the beast soul and transformed into a demon bear. Unlike the small civet cat, the demon bear is more than 2 meters tall and extremely large. He checked the entrances of several caves and found that the smell inside was very unpleasant. For a while, I didn't know which one the demon dragon Beetle King was in. After rolling his eyes, Chen Yu roared and slapped the ground with both palms. The loud rumble and vibration were transmitted into the cave. After a while, a roar was heard in the cave. Then Chen Yu felt a loud bang in a cave on the side. Not long after, a huge beetle rushed out of the cave. This beetle has a dragon-like head, and a huge horn like a halberd sticks out from its forehead. When it stood up, it was twice as tall as Chen Yu's magic bear form. When those scarlet eyes stared at Chen Yu, all his fur stood up. I just felt that my own attributes were suppressed. Dragon power characteristics. This Beetle King really has dragon blood. How did this dragon and beetle mate? Or did this beetle eat something? Chen Yu didn't have the identification skills, so he had no way of knowing the specific data of the magic dragon Beetle King. But he activated one of his 3 skills, the power of nature, to offset the deterrence and suppression brought by the Beetle King. After all, as a novice area boss, this dragon Beetle King does not have much dragon blood. The mouth of the demon bear opened, revealing a hideous smile. Fight! Roar! The provoked dragon Beetle King was furious and rushed up directly. Although the dragon Beetle King has a trace of dragon blood, but its body is still a beetle. Its fighting style is extremely rough, and it charges at Chen Yu with its huge horns. The sun falls on its back, and a layer of cold light appears on the metal shell. Chen Yu's body sinks, and he raises his huge palms and chops down fiercely. Bang! Chen Yu, in the form of a demon bear, grabs the long horns of the beetle tightly, and his huge body is pushed back continuously. With a strength attribute of 56, he can judge the power of the Beetle King with just this one contact. It's at least twice as strong as me. But my defense can still withstand it. It's worth fighting. If the Beetle King did not have other special skills, then Chen Yu would have no fear in this battle. His body was pushed all the way to the edge of the cave. But the thick skin and flesh of the bear can fully withstand such an impact. The Beetle King's eyes also showed a look of surprise. It didn't understand why this demon bear who was looking for death had such a strong defense. He knew clearly the opponents in this forest, but this demon bear was definitely not one of them. Chen Yu suddenly twisted his body, opened a gap, and rolled into the cave. The Beetle King would not give up, and rushed in immediately. Who knew that after entering the cave, Chen Yu would no longer avoid it? The cave was opened up by the Beetle King, but it was not very spacious. In such an environment, the long horns of the Beetle King seemed too cumbersome. The Beetle King could only go straight, but Chen Yu was not afraid. Speaking of the huge bear paw, it kept bursting out shock and slapping, hitting the Beetle King head and head. The Beetle King's big horns made it difficult to make an effective attack in such an environment, and he yelled in a hurry. But Chen Yu slapped it several times in a row, but found that the Beetle King was in good condition. This guy, compared with strength, his physique is more terrible. That thick outer armor is comparable to the battleship armor in the real world. Even the tear feature he blessed to the demon bear could not take effect. If it weren't for the shock effect of the shock slap, I'm afraid the Beetle King wouldn't feel anything. The two sides fought for a while, and the whole cave passage was broken. The Beetle King couldn't kill Chen Yu, but he didn't want to leave the cave passage. Because this was his territory, if he left, it would look like he was afraid of Chen Yu. For professionals, attack power depends on the strength attribute. Vitality and defense depend on physique. The magic bear form has both strengths, especially vitality. Chen Yu is not much worse than the Beetle King. He just carried the long horns of the Beetle King and kept looking for the opponent's weaknesses. The eyes of the Beetle King became redder and redder, and finally the long horns also glowed red. Skill attack. Chen Yu immediately judged what the Beetle King wanted to do. At this time, he also saw the tail of the Beetle King swell up, and the layers of shells opened one by one. Exposed under the shell is its fragile abdomen. Unfortunately, the Beetle King almost blocked the passage, and the huge body of the demon bear form had no way to get around it. Chen Yu was also a fierce person. Seeing this, he gritted his teeth and activated the charging effect. Up to now, he has accumulated 320% of his strength. In the form of a demon bear, Chen Yu hit the Beetle King's head with a double peak piercing. Bang! The huge force brought the most violent shock impact. The Beetle King felt that his entire head was almost shaken into a paste. The energy on the long horn could not be raised to the extreme, and was also stimulated and blasted towards Chen Yu. The blood-red energy continued to wash over Chen Yu, gradually melting his fur, flesh and blood. The bone-eroding pain was simply indescribable, and the whole person almost fainted. The demon bear form could not bear it at all, and it exploded directly into light mist. The furious Beetle King saw the exploded demon bear, and his eyes showed a look of satisfaction. But at this moment, Chen Yu appeared behind the light mist. With a ferocious face, he stretched out his hand and grabbed. Soul Sacrifice. Activate. Soul Sacrifice successful. Absorb LV5 Demon Bear Soul. Chen Yu. Druid. Level 55 1. Individual Attributes. Strength -22 10, right pointing arrow 78 10. Agility -122 10, right pointing arrow 142 10. Constitution -95 10, right pointing arrow 148 10. Spirit -93 10, right pointing arrow 110 10. Will -22 10, right pointing arrow 35 10. New feature. Great power, double growth of strength attribute. Explosion. Chen Yu felt that his physical strength suddenly increased by several levels. The 148-point basic constitution brought strong vitality and defense. The shockwave of the Beetle King bombarded him, but he could bear it. Compared with the pain of crushing bones and ash before, it was more than twice as gentle now. This was the attribute he got after being amplified twice by the civet cat and the magic bear. Unfortunately, the attack power was not increased to a level that satisfied him. After losing the magic bear form, Chen Yu became more flexible and petite, and rolled directly. He came from under the Beetle King and behind it. The Beetle King was caught off guard and had not yet recovered from Chen Yu's transformation. He felt a sharp pain in his abdomen. "Ah, wash your ass and wait. I will come and kill you next time." He punched the cave wall, causing rocks to fall and block the cave exit. He turned around and left without stopping. Although he had successfully absorbed the attributes of the demon bear, his attack power was still not up to standard, so there was no point in fighting again. It would be better to go back and prepare before coming back. After all, the details of the Beetle King have been figured out. Just as Chen Yu left, several figures appeared in the distance. The leader was a magician flying in the air, who happened to see Chen Yu's back disappearing into the woods. Before he could speak, he heard a loud noise. The furious Beetle King rushed in recklessly, blowing away all the rocks blocking the door. After he came out, he looked up and saw the magician flying in the air. Human. The eyes of the demon dragon Beetle King turned red, and the carapace unfolded again, emitting shock waves from the long horns. The attack was so fierce that the wizard in the air turned green. He only had time to activate a shield before he was knocked back by the shock wave. Fortunately, his companions responded in time, so no serious damage was caused. However, facing the furious Beetle King, they did not dare to stay and could only turn around and flee. The Beetle King was led away by this group of people, which made it easier for Chen Yu on the other side. When he left the battle for 10 minutes, he felt that he could return to the real world. Return. The light flashed, and his figure disappeared in the woods. A little elf appeared in the woods, his eyes locked on the dissipated light, thinking. The golden light in front of Chen Yu disappeared. The forest had disappeared, replaced by the wasteland outside the South City. He entered the new world from here. Unless he could leave the forest, he would come back here. Chen Yu, a freshman in South City, will return in 21 hours. Student, please come here to check your body and register. As soon as Chen Yu returned, someone came to pick him up. He saw that the wasteland, which had nothing before, was now filled with various containers. Not far away, there were also armored vehicles parked, all of which were loaded with guns. The people who came to pick up Chen Yu were an officer and a woman in an office skirt. Chen Yu could see a badge on the woman's chest with a halo on it. This was the logo of the professional association. The woman had a sweet smile on her face, which made people feel good. Chen Yu nodded obediently and followed her to the container next to her. But at this time, another stream of light appeared, and someone returned. Chen Yu looked curiously at the area where the stream of light was. As a result, after the man returned, he first glanced at the other side with caution, and then suddenly rushed out. Stop. Returning personnel, please register immediately. Come back. We will attack if you leave without permission. The man's abnormal behavior immediately attracted the attention of the surrounding soldiers. A thin layer of black mist appeared on the other party's body, which actually stimulated his professional ability. However, before the other party released his skills, Chen Yu saw the gun barrel of an armored vehicle banging directly. Fierce bullets hit the other party, bursting out a group of fine blood mist. In just a few seconds, the returning person was smashed to pieces. This terrifying scene shocked all the new professionals present. The officer standing next to Chen Yu snorted coldly. These people just got power over there and found something. Thinking that we will forcibly confiscate their gains, or have dark thoughts. When professionals return to the real world, except for physical fitness, other abilities will be suppressed. Stupid. The officer's voice was a little loud, actually speaking to the new professionals nearby. Tell them that real weapons can still deal with professionals. Don't think that you can ignore the law and order and do whatever you want just because you have successfully changed your job. Chen Yu has no opinion on this. If professionals are allowed to act recklessly, this society will indeed be in chaos. As the rear area, it is better to keep order in the real world. Someone went to pick up the body of the man, while Chen Yu followed the association woman into the container. Modern equipment cannot detect the specific attributes of professionals. The results of the inspection can only be generally summarized as 3 levels: ordinary, good, and excellent. Chen Yu's physical fitness is naturally excellent. After the association staff finished recording, they used the identification technique to detect his profession and level. As for the specific attribute parameters of the bear skin he brought back, the other party did not ask a single question. Seeing Chen Yu's puzzled look, the association woman smiled and explained. Before a method to detect attributes is developed, most people will not tell the truth. Instead of getting a bunch of false information, it's better to ignore it for now. Classmate, Sha Country professionals will automatically join after changing their jobs. From now on, you will be a member of the Sha Country Professional Association. This is a benefit for you. The woman brought a bag of things over, handed it to Chen Yu, and took him to the gathering area of Nanchang University. A lot of students who returned earlier have gathered here, and everyone is excitedly discussing their professions. Chen Yu did not go over to say hello, but opened the bag first. I found an association manual and identity card inside, as well as a palm-sized wooden sign. Skill book identification. General basic skill. After learning, you can observe the information of things with a lower level than yourself. This wooden sign turned out to be a skill book prop. Identification is a thing with a wide range of uses, known as the first basic skill. Whether it is collecting in the wild or fighting monsters, or even identifying other professionals, it can be done with this skill. Chen Yu directly activated the wooden sign and learned identification. At this time, other people in Nanchang University also noticed Chen Yu's return. Everyone was very surprised to see the domineering bear skin on Chen Yu. Things from the new world can be brought back to the real world, but most of them are sealed here. It's not that no one has brought back some things before, but none of them are as exaggerated as Chen Yu's bear skin. This bear skin was wrapped and folded by Chen Yu in several layers, making him look several times bloated. Brother Yu, where did you get this bear skin? Ayu, why did you go there for so long? Did you go to level up? Some classmates who knew Chen Yu came over and asked Chen Yu curiously. Of course, Chen Yu couldn't say that this was the skin of the small commander boss, but only said that he peeled it off after seeing the dead demon bear. As for the level, he showed his identity card, which clearly wrote LV1. Some of his classmates changed their jobs to life professions, some changed their jobs to auxiliary professions, and some changed their jobs to main combat professions. There are all kinds of things, but the lowest level is also level 3. In comparison, Chen Yu is at the bottom. It's just that the actual attributes of this bottom are a bit too strong. Not to mention anything else, a physical fitness of more than 100 points is rare among these newbies. That is, the people who are responsible for maintaining order here from the association and the military. Only those with higher attributes than Chen Yu. If it weren't for the wrong timing, he would have wanted to try the effect of his body-resisting bullets. At this time, someone suddenly walked towards Chen Yu. It was Yuan Yunying, one of the 3 beauties of Nanchang University, and a third-year senior who was said to have a very rich family background. As soon as this beautiful woman moved, she immediately attracted the attention of many Nanchang students. Hello, classmate. My name is Yuan Yunying. This time I changed my profession to a craftsman and plan to develop the tailoring direction. Your bear skin looks very high quality. If you can let me make it, I can get rich experience rewards. So, can we cooperate? There was no mention of buying bear skin from you, nor did she want to use her power to pressure others. Yuan Yunying, who was said to have a very good background, looked at Chen Yu with a sweet smile and asked softly. Craftsman is a living profession. Even in the real world, you can gain experience by making finished products. Chen Yu couldn't help but raise his eyebrows when he heard Yuan Yunying say that. How is your level? It's still average now, but when I go back, I can contact my family to help me improve my proficiency in the corresponding skills. Deal. Chen Yu stretched out his hand. Yuan Yunying was slightly stunned, then smiled more and stretched out his hand to shake hands with Chen Yu. Yuan Yunying is called one of the 3 golden flowers of Nanjing University by students of Nanjing University. Not only because of her outstanding beauty and good family background, but also because her academic performance is also among the best, and she has always been in the top 3 of the department. This time, she failed to change her job to the main profession, but became a tailor of the craftsman of the life profession. For this reason, many people are secretly laughing, thinking that in the new era, past achievements can no longer represent everything. No matter how good you are, how good can a life profession be? But Yuan Yunying was very happy, and even contacted her family after she came out. She designated a series of subsequent training plans for herself, striving to make herself go further in tailoring ability. After reaching a cooperation agreement with Chen Yu, Yuan Yunying talked with him on the spot. Well, you are a druid, so this bear skin must be made according to your professional characteristics. Druid is a natural profession. I will purchase a batch of natural materials at that time. You don't have to worry about this part of the expenditure. Yuan Yunying's tone was gentle. Although it was the first time to meet Chen Yu, it was like an old friend for many years. Chen Yu's classmates next to him looked at this side with envy. In the era of universal professions, although there are many public information on the internet, more information is still hidden. Yuan Yunying's family obviously has the ability to access this information, so Chen Yu let Yuan Yunying plan. In this way, if I get any top quality materials in the future, I will give priority to you. Well, thank you classmate Chen Yu. Some people heard what Chen Yu said to Yuan Yunying, and their faces showed more or less disdain. The fact that Chen Yu is only a level 1 druid has spread. There are only 2 possibilities for this bottom situation. Either Chen Yu's environment is too bad, resulting in inability to level up, or Chen Yu's own ability is too poor, resulting in extremely slow leveling efficiency. No matter which one it is a foolish dream to want to complete what he said about getting the best materials. Everyone just thought he was bragging, and after complaining about it, no one came to find fault. At this time, there was a commotion in the distance. Everyone looked back and saw that it was the dean and teacher of their own school who came back with 2 students. As soon as they arrived at the gathering place, the dean couldn't help but said, "Classmates, our Nanchang has an S-level profession. Dragon Knight. Student Li Yiping took 23 hours and has been upgraded to level 10. Student Chao La also changed his job to an A-level profession, the Elemental Mage, and he and Li Yiping reached level 10 together." Hearing the words of the dean, the students in Nanchang couldn't help but be in an uproar. No wonder the dean and others were so happy. S-level professions are very rare. Once you change your job to an S-level profession, your future will be bright. And it seems that these 2 people appeared in the same place, partnering with each other to level up. Reaching level 10 in one day is already a very good level. Yuan Yunying also looked at the 2 classmates who were surrounded by the crowd, with admiration on her face. Chen Yu was really curious when she saw her like this, because there was no envy in Yuan Yunying's eyes. Student Chen Yu, in fact, your druid profession is also very good. If you work hard, you may not be worse than them in the future. Yuan Yunying suddenly said to Chen Yu. Chen Yu didn't expect that this golden flower would actually comfort him, and he couldn't help but laugh. Although Li Yiping awakened the Dragon Knight, he didn't feel threatened by him. Yuan Yunying didn't know that the most terrifying new professional was standing next to her in the Aurora field. Well, I am indeed confident in this aspect. Chen Yu didn't explain too much, just followed Yuan Yunying's words. Not long after Li Yiping and Chao Le came back, the professionals who awakened and entered the new world this time returned. Nanchang University immediately organized a bus to take the students back to campus. After becoming a professional, the Professional Association will open relevant permissions to Nanchang University. At that time, a branch of the Professional Association can be established on campus. They can participate in some official activities through the branch, such as looking for training, etc. At the same time, the association will send a group of professional teachers to guide Nanchang students to study accordingly. It has been more than a year since the Red Moon, and everyone has made many achievements in exploring the new world. Chen Yu and Yuan Yunying belong to different departments. After exchanging mobile phones, they took different buses back. After returning, the first thing everyone did was to wash up and go to bed, and Chen Yu was no exception. After just one day in the new world, both mentally and physically, they were actually exhausted. After a good sleep, Chen Yu directly logged into the Professional Association to wait and see the next day. After logging in with his member ID, he saw the new section appear. Chen Yu first went to the information station, where he searched for a detailed introduction to druids. B-level profession, druid, nature. The abilities of this profession are diverse, mainly relying on the abilities of the beast soul, which can assist, heal, fight, and cast spells. However, because the cultivation of the beast soul and the upgrade of the profession both require experience energy, the strength growth of the druid is not as good as other main professions under the same leveling efficiency. At the same time, the advancement path of the druid profession is located in the elf royal court, and the royal court has not yet been explored in the new world. Comprehensive evaluation, B level. Note: if there are massive resources and financial resources, the upper limit of this profession can be raised to A level. Seeing the introduction of the druid, Chen Yu nodded silently. This is roughly consistent with the information he had seen before. Continuing to read, some characteristics and skills of the druid appeared. Regarding the beast soul, the druid has a total of 5 levels of beast souls to choose from. The beast representative of each level of beast soul will be stronger than the previous level, but it does not mean that the low-level beast soul will be eliminated. It mainly depends on what route the druid wants to take. Among them, beast souls can be divided into 5 categories: earth, sky, water, insect, and plant. There is also a sacred system. However, the sacred system column is marked as particularly difficult, because its representative beasts are dragons, unicorns, and other divine beasts with sacred blood. If a druid does not kill monsters by himself, he cannot condense a soul beast across levels. To condense soul beads with conventional skills, you can only honestly start from the first level and upgrade in order. Chen Yu looked at the introduction on the page, and a picture appeared on it. First level Earth Spirit Cat, second level Earth Spirit Leopard, third level Earth Tiger. These materials are all official explorations of the New World, and are found in some town libraries in the New World. Chen Yu just finished reading when his phone rang. The person displayed on the incoming call page was Yuan Yunying. Nanchang University Laboratory Building. It is called a building, but it is actually 2 floors, each floor is 5 meters high. The whole is a circular building, which is a venue specially built by Nanchang University for professional testing and experiments. Chen Yu came here with the fur of the magic bear. Yuan Yunying rented a top-level laboratory on the first floor. 500 square meters of indoor area plus 500 square meters of outdoor area. When he entered the laboratory, he saw that it was already filled with various professional equipment. I have rented this laboratory for 3 years. In addition to various modern testing equipment, there are also professional equipment specially moved back from the New World. Yuan Yunying stood beside Chen Yu and pointed to a row of strange equipment not far away. Most of them are things needed by life professionals. If these things are to be purchased in full, it will cost at least millions. In addition to Yuan Yunying and Chen Yu, there are 3 other people in the laboratory. I'm going to set up a studio. Xiaoyun is a jeweler, Akei is a blacksmith, and Mimi is an alchemist. With me as a tailor, I have basically all the life professions. Hearing Yuan Yunying's introduction, Chen Yu couldn't help but agree with it. Blacksmiths are good at forging and can make weapons and armor. Jewelers can make all kinds of blessed jewelry to upgrade the grade of props. Alchemists are a jack of all trades, not only can they make equipment, but also props. It seems that Yuan Yuning's small organization aims to focus on logistics. If their abilities are good enough, then the future development prospects will not be bad. And it also avoids taking too risky actions in the new world. Even if there is a call, they will not be asked to go to the front line. Just after changing jobs, Yuan Yuning already has a complete plan and development plan. It seems that she has been preparing before. Xiaoyun and Mimi are both girls, and Ake is a simple boy. The three of them greeted Chen Yu in a friendly manner. The most popular yesterday were naturally the twin stars Li Yiping and Xiaola. But Chen Yu also became well known because he brought back an exaggerated bear skin. Chen Yu, as a natural system, druid can learn healing and make healing potions. I want to invite you to join my small organization and make potions part-time. After Yuan Yuning introduced her companions, she invited Chen Yu. Chen Yu did not feel disgusted with this rich lady. If he wanted to develop his career, even if it was because of his talent, he would need a lot of resources. The people who were favored by Yuan Yuning and invited in were not low in ability. After just a little thought, Chen Yu accepted Yuan Yuning's invitation. Then, Chen Yu spread his bear skin on a wooden table on the side. This wooden table was a prop bot in the New World, called the appraisal table, which was specially used to identify items. Compared with the appraisal technique, the appraisal table allows low-level people to identify high-grade items and obtain detailed information. Xiaoyun and the others gasped as they watched the bear skin completely extend beyond the table after being spread out. There were also numerous cracks on the bear skin, proving that the demon bear must have experienced a brutal battle before it died. The appraisal table was operated by Mimi, and after an energy crystal was put in, it began to shine. A few seconds later, the information of the bear skin appeared on the stone slab on the appraisal table. Leader level double moon demon bear skin. Evaluation. C. Damaged. Original form fur has the characteristic of improving defense. After being made into equipment, it will have a high probability of attaching defense and life parameters. After seeing the words, leader level, everyone was shocked. Yuan Yuning secretly glanced at Chen Yu and found that Chen Yu was very calm, and suddenly thought about it. The next work was presided over by Yuan Yuning. The huge bear skin was enough to make several pieces of clothing. As a member of the organization, Chen Yu generously gave one to each person. Xiaoyun and others did not take it for nothing, and each took out the props they made and gave them to Chen Yu. As for Yuan Yuning, she actually took out a brand new soul bead and gave it to Chen Yu. This soul bead was purchased by her family yesterday. It can accommodate beast souls from level 1 to 3, and is of the same quality as the one given in the novice treasure box. Student Chen Yu, this is my investment in you because I think highly of your ability. I also gave each of Xiaoyun, Ake, Mimi and the others an item. To be honest, my family background means I don't have to worry about future development. But investing in people I think highly of in advance and building my own network of relationships is what I will do next. Yuan Yuning smiled and put the soul bead in Chen Yu's hand, and told him his purpose openly. This frank approach won Chen Yu's approval. He did not refuse and directly accepted Yuan Yuning's soul bead. Xiaoyun gave him a basic power gem before, which happened to be embedded in the steel claw gloves given by Ake. Add to that the alchemist Mimi's alchemy potion. Chen Yu suddenly found that he could try to fight the dragon Beetle King again. There are multiple ways for professionals in the real world to go to the new world. The most convenient way is to teleport directly, but that requires professionals to have the ability to teleport in time and space. In addition, there is a special transmission channel, but it has not been opened in Nanda University yet. The last way is to go to the place where the aurora appeared before and transmit there. I just awakened yesterday, and today most people are absorbing and receiving professional knowledge. There are also some people like Yuan Yuning who have begun to try to build their own business. No one will re-enter the new world so soon. After all, the level is too low and accidents may happen at any time. The number of resurrections seems to be large, but it is definitely a waste to use it at a low level. Yuning, you should have a car at school, right? Yes, the car key is on the shelf by the door. I specially prepared a work car for the studio. Okay, I'm going to the new world again, maybe there will be great gains. Hearing Chen Yu's words, others also looked over in surprise. Yuan Yuning's face flashed with surprise, but then he walked to the safe next to him and took out a backpack. This is the adventure backpack I prepared. It contains a set of healing potions and various small props. Although I don't know why you want to go to the new world at this time, I believe you have your own arrangements. There are only 2 backpacks in total, and Yuan Yuning handed one to Chen Yu. They have only known each other for less than a day, but Yuan Yuning has already unconditionally trusted and helped Chen Yu many times. Chen Yu didn't waste any words, took the car keys and left the laboratory. In the laboratory, Mimi, who looked like a queen, came to Yuan Yuning with a smile. Xiao Yingying, tell me, are you interested in Chen Yu? Hearing Mimi's words, Xiao Yun and Akei, who were cleaning the bear skin next to them, pricked up their ears quietly. Yuan Yuning pushed Mimi away with a helpless look on her face. In her small studio organization, only Mimi was a good friend who had known each other since childhood. Regarding her bestie's teasing, Yuan Yuning understood what the other party was reminding her of. For people of her status, marriage has never been something that can be freely expected. Mimi was hinting at her not to implicate Chen Yu. After all, they had seen Chen Yu's information. Chen Yu went to school by working part-time, and he was the only one in the family, which was nothing compared to her background. He also changed his job to a gold-eating profession like Druid. It is extremely difficult to change your life by relying on a career, and the greater possibility is that you will be mediocre in the future. If Yuan Yuning's family knew that Yuan Yuning was with Chen Yu, then Chen Yu might be targeted. Don't talk nonsense, I just like him. Why, my intuition tells me that this bear skin is definitely not something that Chen Yu got lucky to get from a corpse. Yuan Yuning looked at the bear skin over there and said slowly. The small commander-level boss, the twin moon demon bear, is a monster that novices should not provoke in the official information. If you want to kill the demon bear, the official suggestion is to form a complete strategy team. The so-called complete team is a group of 5 people with 4 major professions: meat shield, ranged, spell, and treatment. Among them, there must be at least 2 meat shields, who take turns to resist the twin moon demon bear. Such a small commander-level boss, how could the body be left in place after being killed? After hearing Yuan Yuning's words, the others also fell into deep thought. Mimi even looked in the direction of the gate, her eyes slightly narrowed. It seems that our druid classmate is a bit mysterious. Maybe he has awakened his talent like us. When they heard the word talent, several people in the studio raised their heads. Just because the few people gathered here are all talented, how could those who were favored by Yuan Yuning and pulled into the studio be mediocre people? Chen Yu didn't know about the conversation in the studio. At this time, he had already driven the studio's off-road vehicle and left the campus at lightning speed. On the way out, he just saw a truck driving towards the direction of Nanjing University, with a Halo logo sprayed on it. It was the team of the professional association responsible for settling in and supporting the construction of Nanjing University. Chen Yu just took a look and didn't pay much attention. After driving on the highway for more than half an hour, he came to the previous Aurora land. This place has been surrounded by official walls and is being built into a fixed distribution center. There were cars coming and going around, and Chen Yu's arrival did not attract much attention. After he parked the car, he directly sensed the new world in the car. When the chi was connected, the light flashed, and he disappeared from the spot. His eyes darkened and brightened, and he was already in the Novice forest before. Chen Yu took out the things in his backpack and replaced the novice's short sword with an iron claw. Primary iron claw, gem +1. Attack power +25, speed +10. Inlay. Basic strength gem, strength +20. Seeing the properties of the iron claw, Chen Yu smiled slightly. It seems that these people in the studio are quite powerful. A novice who just changed his job can actually make weapons and gems with attributes that surpass those of novice equipment. Looking at the bottles of alchemical potions in the backpack, the functions are very complete. Chen Yu has already made a rough assessment of Yuan Yuning's small organization. He dared to come in again because he saw the alchemical potions sent by Mimi. He took out 3 bottles of them, took out the soul beads in his body, and merged the potion with the soul beads. You used the mysterious potion. You used the mental potion. You used the magic potion. Your soul bead status is restored. Soul bead magic bear, collapse right pointing arrow soul bead magic bear, weak. After 3 bottles of potion, the magic bear beast soul in the soul bead was restored to a weak state. Although it was impossible to fully recover, Chen Yu was already very satisfied. The attributes of the magic bear in a weak state are only 20%, but his own strength is no longer the same. As long as he can transform, he can gradually restore the magic bear by devouring the beast souls of other monsters. Roar! Chen Yu's body trembled, and he transformed into a demon bear again. The demon bear looked very tired, and his hair was not shiny at all. But he didn't care. He stretched out his hand and pressed on the big tree next to him, and operated the heart of nature. He quickly locked the distribution of the surrounding monsters. The demon bear opened its mouth and began to rush out. At the same time, several teams were patrolling the outside of the forest. They used ropes to pull up a fence and hung a wooden sign on it with the word, "Danger," written on it. "Captain, how long will this be blocked?" The mysterious druid killed the twin moon demon bear and may have angered the dragon beetle king. Captain Fan of the elite team suffered an unexpected disaster. Before finding out whether that person has left, we must block it. The bearded captain heard his subordinates' words and replied helplessly. They received a report from the leveling team yesterday, saying that an unidentified druid appeared in the Novice forest. Then the elite team was attacked by the furious dragon beetle king while patrolling. This made the association forces in their area tense. If it weren't for the fact that things from the modern world couldn't be brought in, they would have brought in the Vulcan cannons for deployment. For each Aurora land, the official and the association will arrange a special team to guard it. If the situation is not clear, it is likely that a large number of novice professionals will die. This is unacceptable to the official. At this stage, every professional is very valuable to the official. Dying in the novice stage is the most worthless. However, Captain Fan, the strongest of the teams sent in the early stage, is now injured. They can only wait for the association to send new personnel to explore. The Aurora land can be teleported in everywhere, and it is difficult to stop it from the outside, so they can only set up warnings here. However, they didn't expect that the person they were looking for was already fighting inside. Chen Yu is now equivalent to the boss in the novice forest. Except for the 3 BOSSs, there is no opponent for him in the entire area. Chen Yu swept all the way to the cave of the Dragon Beetle King. While recovering his strength, he also leveled up. He wanted to absorb the Dragon Beetle King as his soul beast, so his own professional level must be upgraded. It took half a day to finally meet the upgrade conditions before arriving at the cave. Chen Yu immediately invested the experience energy into himself. Chen Yu, Druid, level 55 1 right pointing arrow LV2. Chen Yu finally upgraded his druid profession to a higher level. The experience value consumed by upgrading the profession level is the same as the experience value consumed by upgrading the beast soul to a higher level. This is why most people cannot afford to play druid. With the same leveling efficiency, the combat power of druids is not as good as other main professions. With the same combat power, druids consume more experience and time than others. If you want to shorten the time, the corresponding resources will be more. Not to mention, beast souls above level 4 will require more experience. But for Chen Yu, everything is not a problem. Under the effect of the soul sacrifice talent, even if the profession level is low, it will not affect his combat performance. When he grows up in the future, he can directly harvest those high-level monsters. The level and identity of the monster determine the amount of experience energy. Now upgrading to a higher level is just because he wants to add points to the skills. In his skill list, the plus symbol appears after all 3 skills. After opening it, you can see the corresponding point addition requirements. Nature Heart LV1 upgrade requires 1 skill point, communication effect is clearer, upper limit LV5. Nature Power LV1 upgrade requires 1 skill point, borrowing effect is 2%, upper limit LV5. Beast Soul LV1 upgrade requires 1 skill point, add 1 soul bead position, upper limit LV5. Beast Soul is the core of the core, and one soul bead position is added for each level upgrade. In the initial stage, there is one skill point, which Chen Yu allocated to Nature Heart. Now the second level skill point, he directly points to the Beast Soul skill. The role of Nature Heart makes him open a map in a natural environment, which is very helpful. After the Beast Soul was upgraded, Chen Yu felt a coolness in his mind, and the space where the original soul bead was located became a little larger. Very good, the next step is to attack the Beetle King. He specially upgraded his skills to accommodate the soul bead for the Beetle King. As long as he can kill the Beetle King himself, he will have a chance to subdue the beast soul of this boss. Chen Yu was excited just thinking about how much help a boss beast soul can bring to him. He took a deep breath, opened his backpack and took all the remaining alchemy potions. You used the basic strength potion, and the strength attribute increased by 10 points. You used the basic agility potion, and the agility attribute increased by 10 points. You used, Chen Yu felt that his breath became hot and fiery. His eyes in the form of the demon bear were slightly red. The huge bear paws dug on the ground, and he couldn't control his emotions. Chen Yu didn't intend to suppress himself. He roared at the low mountain that was vaguely visible in front of him. Roar! There was a tremor in the cave of the low mountain. The angry dragon Beetle King appeared outside the cave again, and his scarlet eyes kept scanning the surroundings. The battle with Chen Yu yesterday made it very frustrated. Later, the pursuit of the human team was unsuccessful, and it suffered a lot of attacks instead. It was recuperating in the cave at this time, but it didn't expect that annoying person to appear again. Roar! The dragon Beetle King also roared back, with madness and cruelty in his voice. This time, it would never let Chen Yu escape again, it would tear this human into pieces. After the roar, a huge demon bear came out from the forest in front. The Beetle King was extremely jealous when he met his enemy. The long horns lit up red, and the beetle armor on the back opened, entering a violent mode. In such an open space outside, it would not be ambushed by Chen Yu like last time. Seeing the Beetle King's appearance, Chen Yu immediately understood his thoughts. However, he is now completely different from yesterday. And after the sweep and absorption along the way, plus the effect of the alchemy potion, the bear soul has recovered. He took a look at his attributes. Strength minus 145, 30, increase 80%. Agility minus 142, 20. Constitution minus 229, 20, increase 55%. Spirit minus 110, 20. Will minus 35, 20. 4 attributes over 100, Constitution over 200. Boom! The long horns of the demonic dragon Beetle King shot out a red beam of light. But Chen Yu did not dodge, and rushed over with a roar. The beam of light hit his fur, sparks flew, but it did not slow him down at all. The simple brain of the Beetle King had a bad premonition. But before it could react, Chen Yu had already rushed in front of it. The huge bear paw directly pressed down the big horn, and a huge force was transmitted to the Beetle King. The next moment, it was lifted up by Chen Yu. Demonic Dragon Beetle King. Boom! The Beetle King was smashed to the ground, and a big hole was broken in the ground. Then a pair of bear paws popped out sharp claws, and slapped the Beetle King's body crazily. He adopted a life and death fighting style, exchanging injuries for injuries. Even though the Beetle King was ferocious by nature, he was also frightened. Until the end, the Beetle King and Chen Yu simultaneously launched killing moves. The two palms with 500% power slammed into the Beetle King's carapace with a thunderous roar. There was a loud bang. The Beetle King opened his mouth and spurted out hot blood, and both eyeballs exploded. The insect body under the hard shell was also blown to pieces. And Chen Yu's magic bear form also exploded, and once again he was ridden off. He activated his innate ability, but this time he failed to absorb the attribute. This beast soul has been sacrificed. It needs to be promoted before it can be sacrificed. Sacrifice is invalid. The essence of the beast soul will be used to restore its own status. You killed the commander level boss in this area and received additional experience rewards. You killed the boss alone and received additional skill points rewards. You received 2 skill points. The soul of the Dragon Beetle King is dissipating. Do you want to extract the beast soul? A large amount of experience energy poured out from the Beetle King and was absorbed by Chen Yu. And he also took 2 extra skill points. However, Chen Yu was not excited, but just recalled the scene just now. The beast soul that has been absorbed cannot be absorbed again. However, restoring the status is still very useful in battle. He directly took out the soul bead and activated the beast soul skill. The light flashed, and the mist in the soul bead rolled violently. 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes. Just when Chen Yu became nervous, the mist in the soul bead finally condensed into shape. Congratulations on your successful condensation, and obtaining the special soul of the insect system, Beetle form LV1. Very good. Chen Yu took the soul bead into his body, and then transformed his spirit. The body shook, and then turned into a beetle slightly smaller than the magic bear. Special 3rd level insect system, Beetle insect, form LV1. Beast soul upgrade limit 1/10. Attribute blessing. Constitution plus 100%, strength plus 50%, spirit plus 25%. Feature hard armor. Increase resistance to all attack damage by 25%. War armor form. Can be switched from insect form to war armor form. Strength blessing is converted to agility blessing. Skills. Magic light impact. Consume magic power, release energy beam attack, and attack power plus 50% when fully charged. Endurance persistence. Reduce physical consumption by 20%. Rage. Activate the power of blood, will decrease by 1 per second, attack increases by 5% per second, and will go completely crazy when it is less than 10 points. Chapter 11. Absorb the beast soul of the Beetle King. The newly condensed beetle form amazed Chen Yu. Although it seems that the attributes of the blessing are not as many as the double moon magic bear. But the upgrade limit of the Beetle King itself is higher than that of the magic bear. After upgrading the beast soul skills, Chen Yu can now see the upgrade limit of the beast soul. The magic bear form is LV5, and the beetle form is LV10. It is worthy of being a leader-level monster, the boss of the novice area. In addition to the basic skills and attribute blessings, there is also an additional form switch. Even one more skill. Chen Yu immediately switched to beetle armor form. The huge beetle trembled for a while, and then it changed from a bug back to a human form. The huge long horn became a long halberd that was held in his hand, and the whole body was covered with metallic armor. The 4 arms on the upper body have sharp spikes at the joints. This posture alone gives people a cold and terrifying feeling. Chen Yu's head was also in the form of an insect, with a pair of compound eyes glowing red. This reminded him of a character in a very famous work. Feeling the power in his body, Chen Yu felt that he was now truly roaming the novice zone. It couldn't even be described as roaming, but more like roaming. However, are there any monsters in the novice zone that can blow up my form? Chen Yu scratched his head, making a creaking sound of metal friction. The demon bear form was already very strong. Now that he has turned into a beetle form, his defense is even more abnormal. If he wants to blow up the beetle form, he thinks it is hopeless to rely on the monsters in the novice zone. If Chen Yu's idea was known to others, I'm afraid they would vomit blood. People are afraid of encountering monsters that are too strong, but I didn't expect that there are people who are afraid of not being blown up. Putting aside the idea for the time being, Chen Yu walked to the body of the Beetle King. The last blow blew up the Beetle King's body, but the shell was still intact. This shows how precious this shell is. He lifted up the body of the Beetle King and emptied out all the tattered flesh and blood inside. He must take this shell back. Boom! Just as Chen Yu pulled out the tattered internal organs, something like a bracelet fell out. He picked it up and scanned it with the identification technique, and his body suddenly stiffened. Insect ring. The organ used by the Beetle King to store food, with a 3*3 cubic meter space inside. Can only be used by the Zerg. Space props. This is simply a pleasant surprise. Chen Yu had been thinking before whether there would be any equipment or props after killing the boss. But this world is not like a game. After the monsters die, the most valuable items are usually their corpses. Unexpectedly, he really found a treasure in the end. This insect ring was used by the Beetle King to store food, and now it has become an ownerless thing. Unfortunately, there are restrictions on how to use it, and ordinary people really can't use it. Chen Yu changed back into a worm form and successfully equipped the insect ring. Directly pour out everything inside. A pile of flesh and corpses covered the surrounding ground with a rustling sound, and the stench hit his nostrils, almost suffocating him. Chen Yu dragged the Beetle King's shell back to the vicinity of the cave, and then he breathed a little. He tried it several times and finally mastered the use of the insect ring. Chen Yu put the Beetle King's shell into the insect ring, and a smile appeared on his face. The Beetle King's shell was not an ordinary item at first glance, and it would be too eye-catching if it was taken out directly. Now that it is put into the insect ring, no one can see it. After looting the Beetle King's body, naturally, the cave where it lives cannot be spared. Chen Yu took the opportunity to drill into the cave, enduring the pungent stench, and drilled all the way in. In the end, he found a large number of monster remains in the cave at the bottom. These were thrown here casually by the Beetle King after eating, and they accumulated over time, and they were countless. A large number of corpses were no longer in shape, and some had lost their original material properties. But Chen Yu didn't care. He used the big horn in the beetle form to pick and pull. As long as it didn't break after touching, it was good stuff. Anyway, he had the insect ring on him now, so he took as many as he could. When he was cleaning to the end, Chen Yu's long horn suddenly swept across some metal, making a ding sound. He stopped and pushed away the dirty garbage corpses, and found that it was an exquisite wristband. This wristband was gold and silver, and it was carved with very gorgeous patterns. Even the stains of monster flesh and blood could not cover up the specialness of this wristband. Chen Yu switched back to the armor form and used the identification technique to shoot at the wristband. Spirit Tree Wristband. Evaluation. Grade A, Rare. From the Elf Royal Court, this wristband was made by the Elf Master Craftsman using the Spirit Tree, and it contains a certain meaning. Agility plus 20%, Spirit plus 20%, Will plus 20%. After losing its owner, the array pattern on the wristband has been automatically closed, and the characteristics cannot be analyzed. Seeing the result of the appraisal, Chen Yu was surprised. I didn't expect to pick up rare equipment in the novice area. This trip to kill the Dragon Beetle King was really the right one, and the harvest was so rich that he couldn't believe it. Chen Yu cancelled the transformation and took out the water bottle in the backpack to rinse the wristband. After rinsing it thoroughly, he put the wristband on his hand, and his physical attributes were strengthened again. He had seen the introduction in the online information that equipment or props that can increase the percentage are all rare level. Although his magic bear and beetle forms also have percentage enhancements, that is because these two are both third-level beast spirits. A normal druid has to be level 30 to get in touch with it. As for the equipment with rare evaluation, a probability is given online. Only 1 out of 10,000 pieces of equipment will be rated as rare, and the drop rate is 1 in 10,000, so you can imagine how precious it is. This is a harvest that is not inferior to the insect ring. However, after wearing the Spirit Tree wristband, except for the increase in attributes, other characteristics and abilities are still in a dormant state. Just as the result of the identification technique, the mysterious array pattern on the equipment automatically blocks the equipment effect. But the light attribute blessing is already very useful for Chen Yu. He walked towards the exit of the cave with satisfaction, and just when he was at the exit passage, he suddenly stopped. Outside the cave, many human teams came at some point. Among them, the aura of all the members of the team was quite fierce, and they were obviously leaders. Captain Zhang, this place was originally marked as the territory of the Dragon Beetle King. Captain Fan was injured when he came here to mark it. Well, I know. With so many monster corpses, it seems that the Beetle King is very dangerous. It's too dangerous to leave it to the novices. The man called Captain Zhang is a warrior. There is a huge sword and a big shield behind him. He stands there like a tower. The voice of the voice came into the cave, and Chen Yu couldn't help but hold his breath and quietly retreat. There were 7 or 8 teams outside the cave, at least more than 30 people. Chen Yu did not alarm anyone and quietly retreated back to the depths of the cave. In fact, he felt that if he turned into a beast soul, these people outside could not stop him. But in that case, the noise would be too loud. At that time, the Aurora land might also be under martial law, but he had not left yet. More than 20 minutes had passed since his battle with the Beetle King. Chen Yu tried to sense the real world in the cave. Very good, I can leave as expected. The cave was judged to be a safe area because it had lost its owner. Chen Yu immediately activated his mental power and immediately turned into a stream of light and disappeared in the cave. The fluctuation was minimal and did not attract the attention of anyone outside. In the Aurora land, Chen Yu returned to the seat of the SUV. It was less than a day since he entered the new world, and it was already late at night. He started the car and left quietly. When he went out, the checkpoints in the Aurora land had been set up and he was stopped and questioned. Chen Yu pretended to be innocent and just said that he wanted to find opportunities. The sentries found that there was really nothing in his car, so they warned him and let him go. Remember, come back in a week. The opposite world is currently being cleaned up. It will be dangerous if you enter before the work is completed. Chen Yu nodded. Anyway, he had gained enough, and the most important thing was to digest it well. The improvement of his physique made Chen Yu full of energy now. He drove the car all the way back to school, parked it, and went directly to Yuan Yuning's studio. His fingerprints had been recorded in the access control, and he turned off the surveillance after entering. After turning into a beetle, he vomited out everything in the insect ring. He sorted out various monster materials and arranged them neatly, leaving only about 1/3. As for the Beetle King's carapace, Chen Yu only left a piece of carapace and plastron, as well as 2 forelimbs. The rest were all taken back to the insect ring. Before he was sure of the character of the people in Yuan Yuning's studio, he didn't want to reveal too much. Now the amount and materials were enough to shock Yuan Yuning and the others, but they would not cause too much reaction. It was not a bad thing for Chen Yu to let them keep a little awe of him. After doing all this, Chen Yu directly found the folding bed for rest in the studio, opened it and fell asleep. The next day, he woke up as soon as the door of the studio was opened. Then a few suppressed exclamations came, and Chen Yu recognized the voices of Xiaoyun, Akei and Mimi. Chen Yu, did you bring all these back? Yuan Yuning was also there, but she keenly noticed Chen Yu resting in the corner. Although she didn't exclaim, the surprise on Yuan Yuning's face was also revealed. Over there, Akei, a blacksmith, pounced on the Beetle King's shell with shining eyes. He had no place to play with the bear skin before, but this shell was different. His professional skills and abilities can be fully exerted with the shell. Xiaoyun and Mimi were inspecting the materials piled up nearby. Every time they picked up an item, their expressions became more interesting. Especially Mimi, as an alchemist, she had a wide range of knowledge and recognized many materials. If this pile of materials was taken to the market, it would be easy to sell for millions. Yes, I went back to the place where I picked up the bear skin before, and found these things there. You gave me a soul bead, and I took these things back, so we're even. A soul bead. Chen Yu did not see the transaction record on the association's website. But some people estimated that the value of the soul bead is about 500,000 to 1 million. No matter how it is estimated, the materials Chen Yu brought back far exceed it. After hearing Chen Yu's words, Yuan Yuning just smiled helplessly. We are in the same studio. I don't think it's necessary for everyone to be so divided. Feelings are feelings, but it's better to be clear at ordinary times. Chen Yu didn't care about Yuan Yuning's attitude. This rich girl really didn't have any bad intentions, she just wanted to win over and build her own team. But Chen Yu didn't like the feeling of being favored by others, which meant that he would owe favors. And favors are the most expensive things in the world. Understanding Chen Yu's attitude, Yuan Yuning no longer struggled and followed him to check the harvest. Several people worked together to move the things to the appraisal table one by one, and exchanged 2 energy crystals before the final appraisal was completed. The whole process took nearly 3 hours. Chen Yu did not go with them, but left the studio and went to the library. Before he left, the team from the association headquarters had already set off for Nanchang University. After a day, many steel structures had appeared in Nanchang University. And a special area for professionals was also opened in the library. There were a lot of basic information related to professions for students of Nanchang University to browse. Chen Yu was not late, but he almost couldn't find the location. All the information is stored on the internet, and can only be logged in and browsed through a card reader. Chen Yu started with the most basic information. People like Yuan Yuning actually had access to relevant information a long time ago. Her family had already prepared various development routes for her, and as long as she changed jobs, they could start immediately. That's why Yuan Yuning's series of actions were so fast. There will be no shortage of people like Yuan Yuning. After all, this is the last advantage of the upper circle in the old era. After more and more people change jobs, in the new era, what determines the superiority and inferiority of people is professional ability. These upper circles also have the possibility of being replaced at any time, and it is not small. However, Chen Yu is not interested in these things at present. He is fascinated by the data and supplements his understanding of the new world. At present, people in the real world have only about 10% contact with the new world. Among them, the area where humans live accounts for about 6%. A large amount of information and intelligence are found in the human towns over there. There is no essential difference between humans in the real world and the present world. But people over there can't change jobs and upgrade as quickly as professionals. If you want to change jobs over there, you need to learn from childhood and go through hard tests. The same is true for upgrading. In addition to killing enemies, you have to practice and feel all the time. In comparison, professionals are just like cheating. At present, the human forces in the new world have also noticed the existence of professionals and started to contact them. The official forces of Xiaoguo have already cooperated with the Lord. But there are also some indigenous humans who try to capture and kill professionals. It can be said that danger always exists. Elf Royal Court. Chen Yu's eyes lit up when he saw the title of the next document. There are many races in the new world. There are also many forces established by races, because the new world has experienced several crises. The last crisis was solved by the union of all races, and in that crisis, all races entered a state of great unification. In the years that followed, most races fell into division again. The only one that did not split again was the Elf Royal Court. Druids are the profession of the elf race, and their own advancement path can only be completed by going to the Elf Royal Court. Why the official in the real world thinks that druids are not good is because the Elf Royal Court has not been found. After reaching level 99, professionals can go for a sublimation awakening. After sublimation, the level will return to level 1, but all attributes and skills will be retained. And the upper limit will be raised to level 150. It is currently known that professionals can perform 3 sublimation awakenings. If the Elf Royal Court cannot be found, then the druid profession will be cut off after upgrading to level 99. There is not much introduction to the Elf Royal Court, and it is finished in 1 page. Basically, it introduces the strong people who may exist in the Elf Royal Court. The Queen of Elf, undoubtedly the supreme controller of power and the strongest person in the elves. The 12 scepters of the Royal Court, also known as the 12 Elders, are the strongest elves after the Queen. The 12 Elders represent the 12 branches of the elves. Seeing this, Chen Yu couldn't help but fall into deep thought. He certainly didn't take the ordinary druid route. But the inability to upgrade also had a great impact on him. Next, in his exploration and experience in the new world, he must consciously find the whereabouts of the Elf Royal Court. Just as he was about to continue reading, a piece of news suddenly popped up on the webpage. The first batch of professionals in the world who have sublimated and awakened. 4 people from Xiaoguo are among them. Along with the news title, there are 4 photos of people. Chen Yu heard an uproar in the library, and it was obvious that everyone had seen the news. It is definitely a big event that can make the Association Management Network specially pop up a window to announce it. More than a year after the Red Moon. Finally, the first batch of professionals who have sublimated and awakened appeared. Chen Yu immediately opened the news, and after reading it carefully, he couldn't help but feel excited. This group of people who sublimated and awakened were not together, but they all completed the sublimation at this time. From this, it can be seen that the competition between countries has always been fierce. Even if there is no direct confrontation, they are competing in other aspects. The 4 people in Sha country have now been officially named the 4 Heavenly Kings. The 4 Heavenly Kings enjoy the same status as the Elders Council of Sha country in terms of identity. 2 of them are from the military, 1 is from the capital, and the last one is a civilian from the south. As representatives of today's professionals, the 4 will go to various parts of Sha country to give lectures and guide civilian professionals. In addition, we must also see if there are good seedlings. If they are favored, they may be promoted to members of their team, which is commonly known as disciples. Seeing this, Chen Yu finally understood why everyone in the library was so excited. This is an opportunity to step onto the stage. As the disciples of the 4 strongest people in the country, will the resources and leveling required in the future be a problem? Not to mention the social class leap this identity brings. The one from the south has become an idol for many ordinary people in China. Everyone hopes to be like him and become a top class in one fell swoop. Chen Yu was also a little tempted, but he suppressed his emotions and continued to browse the information. In the studio, Mimi stretched her body, showing off her beautiful figure. She turned her head to look at Yuan Yunying, with admiration written all over her face. Pulling her best friend to the side, Mimi said, "I admire your vision. This Chen Yu is definitely a hidden talent, his talent must be very strong." Hearing Mimi's evaluation, Yuan Yunying just smiled faintly. When she and Mimi were checking and identifying the materials before, they found some clues about the Beetle King's shell. Although Chen Yu had cleaned up 99% of the beetle's flesh and blood, there were still some residues in the joints. Mimi is an alchemist, and she immediately scraped out some tissue for alchemical testing. It turned out that the activity of the flesh and blood was still there. Based on its activity level, Mimi calculated that the beetle died within 10 hours. What does this mean? It means that the beetle was most likely killed by Chen Yu. Previously, it was identified on the appraisal table that this carapace belonged to a commander-level boss. A level 1 rookie professional, who solved a commander-level boss. Every time Mimi thought of this, she couldn't help but get excited and her cheeks flushed. He doesn't want to say it, so don't ask too much. I hope that one day we can be honest with each other, and then we can prove that our friendship is strong enough. Mimi understood who Yuan Yunying was referring to, and it was naturally Chen Yu. At the beginning, it was just a spur-of-the-moment action, but I didn't expect it to really attract a big dragon. Mimi put her arms around Yuan Yunying's waist and said to her intriguingly, "If he is really like we think, then you and him may not be impossible." "Mimi, what nonsense are you talking about?" Yuan Yunying knocked on her bestie's head in annoyance, broke free from her arm and walked to the workbench. "Okay, after we have counted the materials, let's start making the bear skin. Ake, you can study the production of the shell first, and you will be the main person in this regard." Ake agreed excitedly, picked up the shell and walked to the forging table next to her. Yuan Yunying continued to process the bear skin with Xiaoyun and Mimi. The principal's office on the top floor of the Nanchang University office building. The silver-haired principal sat on a chair, and next to him were the dean of teaching and several vice principals. Opposite them, there were 2 students sitting, Li Yiping and Chaola, who were called the twin stars of Nanchang University. At this time, both students showed excited expressions on their faces. The principal smiled, but did not speak. The vice principal next to him looked at the 2 with satisfaction. That's the situation. Yongyu Tianwang's first stop in the south will be his hometown, Pengcheng. The second stop will be our Nanchang University, which will arrive in about a month. During this period, the school will do its best to help you level up and train, and the higher the level, the better. Li Yiping and Chaola stood up and bowed deeply to the vice president. "Don't worry, Principal Huang, we will never let you down." Hearing the words, Principal Huang, from the 2 people's mouths, the vice president laughed out loud, not minding the principal next to him at all. Others also smiled and agreed. Some secretly looked at the old principal, but found that he was still smiling and didn't show any anger. Alas, the old principal can't keep up with the times. Several people at the scene couldn't help but think of this sentence. The news about the 4 kings of Sha Kingdom quickly became popular on the internet. In order to welcome the king who was about to tour the south, Nanchang University allocated funds to cooperate with the Professional Association for Large-Scale Construction. The students of the whole school entered a state of enthusiasm. Everyone was looking forward to being selected by the king's eyes. In the Aurora land, a meeting was being held at this time. Captain Fan, who was injured before, was also in the conference room. After treatment, he has recovered his ability to move. Opposite him was Captain Zhang, who came to reinforce this time. In addition, 8 team leaders were also listening. On the big screen in the conference room, reconnaissance photos in the Novice forest were being played. What was released at this time was a pile of rotten meat and internal organs. After identification, this is the body of the dragon beetle king. The shell was stripped off, the flesh was torn, and it was mixed in a pile of corpses. We almost made a mistake. Hearing Captain Zhang's explanation, the expressions of the people present were very serious. At the main seat of the conference table, the captain in charge of the Aurora land frowned. We have searched the Novice forest and found no trace of the mysterious druid. I suspect that the druid is a native of the New World, otherwise it is impossible to explain the other party's strength. The twin moon demon bear and the dragon beetle king should have been killed by the other party. The theme of this meeting was about Chen Yu. It's just that the people in charge of the Aurora land thought wrongly and mistook Chen Yu for a native. In the past, there were rarely high-level natives in the area where newcomers entered. The strongest among them was Captain Zhang, who was only a level 23 professional. They estimated that the other party's strength level was at least above level 30, as he was able to kill the Dragon Beetle King in a single fight. There is no reason for a mid-level professional native to wander around in the Novice area. There must be some opportunity in this forest. In the next week, a comprehensive search will be conducted in the Novice forest. After listening to the report, the lieutenant discussed with the association manager next to him and made a decision immediately. Anyway, the blockade has begun and has been reported to the southern military region. Anyway, the druid has disappeared now. Regardless of whether the other party has found the opportunity or not, the military will search for it. What if there is an unexpected harvest? So, how should the boss in the Novice area be dealt with? If there is an opportunity, it is likely to appear in the boss lair. After hearing Captain Zhang's question, Captain Fan and others also looked at the captain. According to regulations, newly emerged alien areas must be handed over to local professionals for preliminary exploration. The period for the Novice area is 1 month, and the period for other areas is 3 months. After the expiration of the period, it will be fully open for social personnel to enter and exit freely. This is a decision made after discussions and consultations between the state and the professional association. The purpose is to protect the rights and interests of local professionals. The times are different. Blindly harvesting everything will cause anger among the lower class people. In the era of universal professionalization, that anger cannot be easily ignored. There have been many cases abroad, and even the entire country has been subverted by professionals and the people in power have been replaced. There is a reason for this. I allow you to harvest the boss monster. But the deadline is limited to 1 week. You must withdraw completely after 1 week. Understood. The evil wind that Chen Yu, a fluttering moth, fanned in the Novice area directly led to the closure of the Novice area for a week. For this reason, all the institutions and organizations that came to inquire also received the news. But in the face of the military's tough attitude, everyone also expressed understanding. Fortunately, the professional association has built a teleportation base station next to Nanchang University. The teleportation base station can be used to teleport to various secret realms, novice areas, and new worlds. This mechanism and teleportation principle have been studied and mastered by all countries. Because the core of construction is that there must be time and space in the local area. At present, the number of teleportation base stations opened in Xiaoguo has exceeded 10. After the construction of Nanchang, it has basically completed the comprehensive coverage of major cities. The novice area of Aurora Camp will be closed for a week. This week, Chen Yu does not plan to stay in the library. With Yuan Yuning's relationship, he got the most detailed investigation and introduction of the druid profession. Especially the part about beast souls. Beast souls are not only divided into series, but also have different grades. Chen Yu's magic bear and beetle belong to the 3rd level, which is the strongest level in the early stage. But after the beast soul is sacrificed once by him, if he wants to continue to use it, he has to upgrade it. A high starting point is good, but it also leads to higher requirements for subsequent upgrades. Chen Yu is now eyeing one of the secret realms in the southern part of Sha Country, Danja Geopark. It used to be a natural relic. After the red moon descended, the air and time aura invaded, turning it into a secret realm. The secret realm is a fusion of the new world and the real world, and exists independently of both. Exploring secret realms is now one of the most popular things in various countries, because secret realms can be explored repeatedly. As long as you have clearance experience, you can continue to explore, fight for materials and gain benefits. Anyway, no matter what the output is, it will be in short supply after it comes out. Those professional companies and institutions basically have their main business in brushing secret realms. Nowadays, various secret realms, where the air and time aura is integrated with local myths, are called myth secret realms. Myth secret realms are the most difficult, and ordinary professionals are simply unable to explore them. Those that are born by integrating local relics are called relic secret realms. Relic secret realms are difficult and easy, and the relative difficulty is not that high. Now there is a teleportation base station next to Nanchang University, and Chen Yu can teleport directly there. Danja Secret Realm. Difficulty rating: Normal C, Difficult B. Original geological park, formed into a secret realm after the fusion of time and space. The monsters in the secret realm are all elemental creatures, most of which are earth elements and earth elements. Recommended entry level: Level 20. Secret realm output: Low-level elemental heart. The reason why Chen Yu is interested in this secret realm is because of the elemental heart inside. According to the information provided by Yuan Yunying, if the earth-type beast soul wants to upgrade, it must have an elemental heart. The upgrade materials for the magic bear are earth heart times 10, life core times 1, and earth essence blood times 5. All these materials can be obtained in the Danja secret realm. However, Chen Yu needs Yuan Yunying's help to enter. Because the country and the association will register people who enter the secret realm in order to control casualties. Chen Yu, a level 2 rookie, is the type who will be driven back if he goes there. So Yuan Yunying specially contacted several trainers, all of whom serve her family. Early in the morning of that day, Chen Yu packed his things and rushed to the teleportation base station next to Nanjing University. Although the teleportation base station sounds simple, it is actually a super large integrated hub covering an area of 1 million square meters. When Chen Yu arrived, a large number of construction machinery were still under construction. The vehicles and people coming and going present a prosperous scene. If he hadn't experienced the awakening profession in person, Chen Yu would feel that it was no different from the previous train station. Most of the buildings in the teleportation base station are still being improved. Only the core teleportation hall is open. Chen Yu found the contact person arranged by Yuan Yunying in the hall. A father and son. Student Chen, I have heard the details from Miss Yuan. After entering the secret realm, I will cooperate with you. I will take my kid to level up, don't worry, it won't affect you. As a trainer, the man also showed Chen Yu his data card. Xie Fan, a 29th level swordsman, has no problem going to the Danja secret realm. And he spoke modestly and didn't ask about Chen Yu's affairs at all. Such a service attitude made Chen Yu very satisfied. Yuan Yunying told Chen Yu that this person was completely trained by the Yuan family. While he was talking, the young man behind him was also silently observing Chen Yu. The young man looked like he was in junior high school or high school, and perhaps he was also awakened by the aurora in South City this time. Chen Yu doesn't care about leveling up. One more or one less newcomer won't have much impact on him. Xie Fan also makes full use of the opportunity to go on a mission, so he pays special attention to Chen Yu's attitude. In fact, in the new era, everyone is also arguing whether it is necessary to continue to go to school. Those who think it is unnecessary are because the upgrade and skill use of professionals are very simple and crude. Even the existence of props such as skill books has greatly reduced individual requirements. They don't have to study and train hard like the natives in the New World. But those who support learning believe that not only skills, but some professions themselves cannot be separated from learning. For example, if alchemists and mages systematically learn knowledge such as mathematics, physics and chemistry, it will be more beneficial to themselves. The current attitude of the country is to let students choose for themselves. Those who want to study can naturally continue in school, and those who don't want to go to school can also leave freely. Xie Fan's son obviously can't stay in school anymore. He just awakened his profession and couldn't wait to come out and make a living. It's really hard to say how much of this is due to his own factors and how much is the influence of his father. As long as you take good care of him, I have no objection. Please rest assured that I will take good care of him. The next thing was naturally handled by Xie Fan. He took Chen Yu and his son Xie Hui's ID cards to the front desk to register. Xie Wei saw that Chen Yu's information showed that he was only level 2, and immediately showed a disapproving expression. He changed his job to the same swordsman as his father, and he was promoted to level 5 on the day of awakening. He has good ability. It was because of his son's performance that Xie Fan agreed to let him drop out of school. Although Xie Wei didn't think much of Chen Yu, but he also knew that this was the VIP of his father's boss's daughter, so he followed behind in a proper manner. The three of them successfully passed the registration and were arranged to be teleported in a small room next to them. The Danja secret realm is divided into 2 levels, ordinary and difficult. People below level 30 are not allowed to enter the suffering level. Activate the induction in the room, and it will automatically default to team mode and enter a new world. What appeared in front of Chen Yu was a world dominated by reddish-brown, with steep cliffs and hills. At first glance, it is no different from the original Danja landform. But if you look closely, you will find that there are many monsters moving on the ground in the distance. These monsters look like pieces of stone with different colors. The teleportation points are fixed. Within 5 kilometers from here, they are all low-level areas. The level of monsters refreshed in the area will not exceed level 10. Every kilometer, there is a safe point set up by the association, where you can resupply. Xie Fan is experienced. While introducing Chen Yu, he took him and Xie Wei out. It didn't take long before they encountered 5 Danja monsters. Danja Stone Monster, Earth Attribute Monster, LV5. Has good defense, lazy temperament, prefers to escape rather than fight. Xie Fan looked at Chen Yu. Before he was sure that Chen Yu had the qualifications to practice alone, he would not let Chen Yu act on his own. As a professional trained by the Yuan family, he must be responsible for his employer. Chen Yu also knew Xie Fan's thoughts and walked forward without saying a word. The 5 Danja stone monsters stared at him with wide eyes, slowly stood up, and wanted to leave. But the next moment, Chen Yu's unreasonable fists fell on them. Bang bang bang, 1 punch and 1 stone monster, all were smashed to pieces. Chen Yu easily solved the problem in Xie Hui's stunned expression. Let's separate here, see you in 5 days. Chen Yu patted the dust on his hands and turned to go deep into the secret realm. Xie Fan didn't say much nonsense, just slapped his son on the head. There are always higher levels, don't think that level can represent everything. The professional path is our opportunity, but if you don't have awe, you won't go far. Xie Wei hummed, followed his father's footsteps honestly, and looked for monsters nearby to level up. The Danja secret realm was high and low, and Chen Yu's figure soon disappeared inside. He transformed into a beetle armor and ran recklessly in the secret realm. Most of the monsters that appeared along the way were Danja stone monsters, the same as those in the secret realm introduction. Occasionally, you can also see some cloud-like wind element monsters and mud-like soft mud monsters. He didn't let them go, and sent them away with a halberd. Chen Yu's real combat power is not weaker than that of a level 20 professional, and even exceeds it in some attributes. Many professionals who are also scouting monsters in the secret realm are in awe when they see him. The appearance of the armor form is really too cool, shining with golden light, and it is not an ordinary item at a glance. In half a day, Chen Yu rushed out of the novice area. A muffled sound came from the bottom of the steep cliff. A 3-meter-tall Danja monster was scattered into rubble. Chen Yu reached out and picked up a round brown bead from it, which was the heart of the earth. Although the name of this thing sounds high-end, it is actually just a low-end alchemical material. It must be a stone monster above level 15, the drop rate will be high. Chen Yu threw the heart of the earth into the insect ring. He only collected 3 along the way, and he had never seen the earth essence blood and life core. Just as he was about to go deeper, there was a dense vibration behind the cliff in front of him. Several cracks appeared on the reddish-brown cliff, and gravel fell down. Chen Yu spread his wings and climbed over the steep cliff. At a glance, he saw a giant snake made of stones constantly attacking there. Wherever the snake's tail swept, it was just like a steamroller. In front of the giant snake, there was a giant rock turtle. Danja stone snake, Earth Attribute Monster, LV20. With good defense and vitality, manic personality, Danja Secret Realm Small Commander Level Monster. Association Note. This monster has a chance to drop Earth Essence Blood. Danja Stone Turtle, Earth Attribute Monster, LV15. With good defense and vitality, gentle personality, Danja Secret Realm Small Commander Level Monster. Association Note. This monster has a chance to drop Earth Essence Blood. Chen Yu's identification skill book came from the association. He didn't expect that when he identified the monster, he could see the association's markings on the monster. This thoughtful function really made him overjoyed. The monsters he encountered before had no markings. Perhaps it was because the dropped items were nothing special. The stone giant snake at the moment was more than 20 meters long and was made up of pieces of huge stones. It looked like a rock snake, with the smallest stone at the tail, but it was also 1 person tall. With such a body, if it was swept across, even a meat shield profession would spit blood. At the moment, the stone snake was attacking the stone turtle with both its head and tail. Although the stone turtle was not as high as the stone snake, it was able to defend itself steadily after retracting into its shell. Occasionally, it could take advantage of the stone snake's inattention and bite the stone snake's tail viciously. Whether it was a stone snake or a stone turtle, their mouths would burst out with thunderous muffled sounds when they bit. It can be seen that its bite force is strong. It's very strong. The body made of stone also has high defensiveness. Although the demon bear form is strong enough, the defense is probably not strong enough. Chen Yu observed and analyzed. He switched the armor form to the beetle form. In this form, his physical attribute is the highest, and the existence of a fully covered shell can also improve defense. But simply competing for defense is not enough. Chen Yu looked around and found that there was a cave behind a pile of rocks not far away. The diameter of the cave entrance is about 4 meters, and it looks like it was dug by a stone snake. This stone snake should have been hiding underground and hibernating before, and it came out to hunt after being awakened by the stone turtle. A plan flashed through Chen Yu's mind, and he immediately slid down the mountain from the other side of the cliff. He stuck to the ground and advanced to the entrance of the cave under the cover of the pile of rocks. At a glance, it was pitch black and you couldn't see the bottom at all. Chen Yu got into the cave, changed into the demon bear form, and waited quietly here. The stone snake over there was already slightly tired. Unable to achieve a decisive result, the monster was ready to leave. Roar! The Danja stone snake roared at the stone turtle. The snake head stared at the stone turtle and began to slowly retreat. After a while, it retreated to the vicinity of the cave. The stone turtle could not beat the stone snake in the first place, so it did not chase after it and continued to shrink in its shell and watch. Chen Yu in the cave held his breath, pressed his body against the rock wall, and watched the snake's tail fall in front of him. In order to guard against the stone turtle, the stone snake had been facing the stone turtle. Who knew that at this time, its tail was suddenly grabbed by a pair of powerful hands. Immediately afterwards, a huge force came, and the stone snake's huge eyes showed shock. Its huge body was dragged and swung for a circle and a half. A tall demon bear rushed out of the cave, swung the stone snake's tail and raised it high like a whip. The stone turtle was stunned by the scene in front of him and couldn't help but stick his head out. The stone snake, which was more than 20 meters long, was thrown into the sky, almost like a huge stone stick. The shock force from the magic bear made the stone snake unable to use any strength. The next moment, the magic bear smiled at the stone turtle. "Fool, are you watching the show?" Whoosh, boom. Chen Yu swung the stone snake and directly smashed it at the stone turtle as a weapon. This caused the two monsters to have a real hard collision. The stone debris mixed with flesh and blood exploded. These two Danja monsters never thought that they would encounter such a fate one day. Chen Yu took advantage of the situation and grabbed the stone snake's tail tightly and kept swinging it. 1, 2 times, 3 times. The stone turtle's shell finally broke with a crack, and the stone snake's head was broken into half. Finally, on the 4th time, the stone snake twisted its body and broke its tail directly. The bloody mouth pounced on Chen Yu furiously. Die! Chen Yu could see how angry this monster was at this time from the stone snake's angry eyes. But Chen Yu was not afraid of the stone snake at this time. From just now to now, the charging skill has accumulated 200% of its power. Without the balance of the tail, the stone snake's bloody mouth just went straight, and he dodged it by sideways. Then, 2 slaps were slapped directly on the stone snake's head. Charge, tear, shock slap, 3 sets of combos. The stone snake's head, which had already been broken, exploded directly. Chen Yu stood there gasping for breath, and the stone turtle opposite him looked at him with a completely dull look in his eyes. Changed into a beetle armor form, Chen Yu picked up the long-horned halberd and stabbed at the gap in the shell of the stone turtle that had already lost its strength. After a while, the stone turtle also died in anger and unwillingness. In this battle with the Danja stone snake, Chen Yu led the rhythm throughout the whole process. But until the end of the battle, he found that he had also lost 1/3 of his life. All of them were injured by the recoil of the stone snake's body before. That should be the special ability of the stone snake. If they really fought face to face, he might not be the opponent of the stone snake. But now everything is worth it. He finally got the earth spirit blood, and 5 pieces of the heart of the earth. Heart of the earth 6/10, life core 0, earth spirit blood 2/5. You have to harvest from this kind of large monster. After dissecting the stone snake and the stone turtle, he put the useful materials and ingredients into the insect ring. Chen Yu did not stay there for long. Who knows if the noise of the battle here will attract more monsters. There is no such thing as encountering professionals in the secret world. The small room at the beginning was used as a partition. The people who enter the small room are the people you can meet in the secret world. Chen Yu walked all the way to a kilometer away before he found the supply point left by the association. It was a small stone house. It will only be opened after being sensed by the professional's identity card. After entering, there is a row of wooden cabinets filled with various potions and wound medicines. The price is about 20% higher than the market price, and credit is allowed. There are 5 beds on the other side, with special inscriptions engraved on them. Lying on them can speed up recovery. This is free. In addition, there are also compressed canned food. In another corner, there are even various alchemical equipment and simple production tools. It's thoughtful. Chen Yu didn't know how the association permanently arranged these things in the secret world. But what he needs now is such a safe place. The stone house has good defense, at least it can resist the attack of the stone snake just now. Chen Yu had enough recovery potions. Yuan Yunying had given him some before. After using them, he lay down on the bed. The inscriptions on the bed frame began to operate autonomously, and cool energy fell on Chen Yu's body. He felt that his life recovery speed began to accelerate, and some small wounds also healed automatically. Half an hour later, Chen Yu was back to perfect condition. Chen Yu, who already knew how to get materials, did not waste time and left the supply point directly. Time passed, and it was the 3rd day that Chen Yu entered the Danja secret realm. He used the wings of the insect to propel himself and quickly climbed up the cliff wall, looking for the leader-level monster. So far, he has encountered 3 types of monsters: stone snakes, stone turtles, and stone bamboo. Among them, stone snakes like to dig holes and hide underground. Stone turtles like to nest in some corners of the cliffs, and if they don't move, they are very hidden. Stone bamboo is a monster with a mixture of earth and wood attributes. The bamboo standing on the surface is very hard and can release magic attacks. But the roots hidden underground are actually the main body of the stone pillar. In terms of level, the stone snake is the highest. But if you want to say who is the most difficult to deal with, Chen Yu must vote for stone bamboo. In these 3 days, he killed a stone snake and 2 stone turtles. But he met stone bamboo twice, and both times the stone bamboo escaped. At this time, he was chasing a fleeing stone bamboo. Before, he had taken precautions, and he broke through the surface and hit the roots directly at the first time. Who knew that Shujia would directly blow up all the pillars in exchange for the main body to escape? The roots drill holes in the mud and rocks very quickly. But Chen Yu was very sensitive to the vibrations of the ground in the beetle form. At the same time, the heart of nature also allowed him to capture weak energy feedback. This prevented Shujia from escaping without a trace. After drinking the last bottle of potion, Chen Yu pulled his life back to 2/3. Shiju's previous self-destruction attack directly killed half of his health bar. Seeing that his strongest attack could not kill Chen Yu, Shiju would flee desperately. Chen Yu's collection of materials is now almost complete. Heart of the Earth 10 out of 10, Life Core 0, Earth Essence Blood 5/5. The reason why he chased Shiju was because his last material, the Life Core, was on Shiju. A simple Earth attribute monster cannot extract a Life Core. Chen Yu has killed all the monsters in the Danja secret realm, except for Shiju. After quickly climbing over a hill, Chen Yu transformed into a demon bear in midair. He put his palms together and slammed the ground hard with the momentum. Shock and slap. The hard ground was like rubber at this moment. It first sank downwards, and then waves of soil whistled around. Nearly 100 meters away, a group of roots tangled together like a ball of twine flew out with a puff. Colorful juice splashed everywhere. Chen Yu rolled along with the momentum and turned into a beetle armor again, chasing after it. Squeak. The roots of the dianthus, which looked like plants, suddenly opened their big mouths full of sharp teeth and screamed. Chen Yu's brain seemed to be pierced by a needle, and his body couldn't help but stiffen. But his will attribute was quite high, and the pause lasted only less than a second, and the next moment he continued to rush forward. Seeing that Chen Yu was not affected, the roots of the dianthus went crazy. But it was already in a severely disabled state. Just now, he was hit by another shock wave, and he had exhausted all his energy to make the last scream. Chen Yu's long-horned halberd came whistling and nailed it to the ground. With a bang, the impact force broke the roots of the carnation. It was followed by the magic light impact. After several consecutive impacts, all the roots hardened like coal. Chen Yu leaned on the halberd with both hands, panting. After chasing all the way to now, even with the Beetle King's endurance and persistence, it was almost unbearable at this time. After cancelling the transformation, Chen Yu crushed the carnation roots in front of him. In the center of it, a plant capsule cracked, revealing the green liquid inside. Life Core, a monster core with abundant vitality, which can be used to refine potions or make props. Direct consumption can quickly restore vitality, and overdraft damage is not applicable. Finally got it. Even if Chen Yu was a calm person, he couldn't help but swear at this time. That is, there is no great commander level boss in the ordinary level of Danja secret realm. Otherwise, his pursuit would have attracted attention long ago. He took off the whole plant capsule, held it in his hand, and left the scene quickly. In his current state, he lacked energy and could not transform. Fortunately, Chen Yu's own quality was very outstanding, and he could beat monsters except stone snakes and stone turtles without transforming. After walking for a distance, he finally found another supply point. After entering the safe house, Chen Yu spent money to buy a few bottles of potions and drank them in one gulp. Then he lay on the bed and fell asleep. This sleep lasted for 5 hours. When he woke up, he was full of energy, and immediately changed into a beetle form and took out all the materials. 10 pieces of the heart of the earth. 5 pieces of the earth essence blood. 1 piece of the life core. The materials for upgrading the beast soul are ready. Chen Yu activated the beast soul skill and drew out the beast soul of the demon bear from his mind. The glowing spherical beast soul floated in his palm. Chen Yu threw the same material into the beast soul one by one. Every time a piece was thrown, the beast soul would expand a little, as if it was swallowing consciously. Your demon bear beast soul has found the upgrade material. The material attributes match. Start swallowing. Your beast soul strength is increasing. Your beast soul fluctuation is increasing. After throwing away the heart of the earth and the essence of blood, Chen Yu picked up the plant capsule, opened it and let the life core inside flow out. The palm-sized plant capsule, but the life core that flowed out was only as small as a little finger. With a thud, the life core was swallowed by the beast soul. The whole beast soul began to shine, and slowly returned to its original soul bead form. Through the crystal clear soul bead, you can clearly see that the bear-shaped beast soul inside is changing. Chen Yu waited quietly. Half an hour later, the soul bead trembled violently and turned into a stream of light again and entered Chen Yu's body. Your magic bear beast soul has been upgraded. Your magic bear has been upgraded from the 2nd level of the earth to the 3rd level of the earth. Strength blessing increased by 20%. Charge attack continues to increase by 10% each time. Chen Yu left the safe house and activated the beast soul to change into the magic bear form. A giant bear more than 3 meters tall and covered with muscle knots immediately appeared on the spot. Compared with the second level, the third level magic bear is not much improved. The strength attribute blessing is 20% more, that is, 100% blessing. The power of each charge attack doubles, and the cumulative limit can be reached faster. Chen Yu frowned slightly. After struggling to fight monsters here for a few days, the magic bear was upgraded from the second level to the third level. It was only improved so little, which made him a little disappointed. But he later realized that this was a percentage attribute blessing. From 80% to 100% is already a big increase. This thing gets stronger when it encounters a stronger opponent. Now that he is in the form of a demon bear, he has encountered a stone snake before, so it is not impossible for him to face it head-on. Before, he had to find an opportunity to go around the stone snake, but now he can just go up and slap it twice, and the stone snake will be confused. In any case, Chen Yu's purpose of this trip has been achieved. There is still more than a day left, and I'm here. Chen Yu in the form of a demon bear patted his body and grinned fiercely. If he becomes stronger, then the monsters here will be in trouble. Deep in the Danja secret realm, from time to time, there were roars and vibrations from afar. Many monsters living in the secret realm fled to the Novice area. Xie Fan, who was training his son, saw more and more monsters, and was frightened to take his son back all the way. Dad, is it a monster riot? I don't know, but there are so many monsters, won't that guy get into trouble? Hearing his son's words, Xie Fan couldn't help but twitch his face. Indeed, they are now only 1 kilometer away from the place where they landed. At the end of the line of sight, you can see the figure of monsters everywhere. Xie Fan has never seen such a large number before. As the saying goes, ants bite elephants to death. Once the number reaches a certain scale, it is also a very difficult thing. Although Chen Yu showed good strength, he is only one person after all. If Chen Yu is killed in battle, he will lose a chance to revive here. I don't know if he will be punished when he goes back. Xie Fan gritted his teeth, looked at his son, and then looked at the monsters in the distance. Just when he was about to go to the depths of the secret realm to find out what was going on, there was another vibration in front of him. This time it was the sound of the monsters running together. On the undulating hills, waves of monsters scattered and fled. Then a stone snake suddenly drilled out of the ground and drew an arc in the air. It was like a dolphin jumping out of the sea. The stone snake, which was more than 10 meters long, was about to fall back to the ground, and suddenly a hand came from behind and grabbed its tail. The stone snake, Xie Fan, and Xie Wei were all shocked. Uncontrollable fear appeared in the eyes of the stone snake. Xie Fan and Xie Wei looked unbelievable. I saw a giant bear pulling the stone snake's tail and spinning like a windmill. Even if they were several kilometers away, they could hear the whistling sound clearly. The stone snake was used as a weapon by the giant bear and smashed the monsters around. Xie Fan and Xie Hui's eyelids twitched wildly. They had never seen such a brutal battle scene in their lives. Boom! After a sweep, the body of the stone snake completely shattered into dozens of boulders. Chen Yu clapped his hands with some satisfaction. Although his beetle-shaped horns were very good, the stone snake as a weapon was obviously more to his liking. Big is beautiful, more is better. The ancients were not deceiving me. With a glance, he saw the father and son who were stunned in the distance. He immediately turned back into a human and waved to the two to come over. Clean up the battlefield, give me the earth essence blood and the heart of the earth. You can peel the other materials yourself and pick some for yourself. Chen Yu sat on the stone that fell after the stone snake broke and stretched out his finger to circle around. The bumpy hills were full of monster corpses, and Xie Fan was so excited that his hands were twitching. Without saying a word, he immediately took his son to act as a material dissector. The two of them worked for most of the day before they finally cleaned up all the corpses on the battlefield. The pile of materials was nearly 3 meters high. 5 portions of the heart of the earth and 3 portions of the blood of the earth were respectfully handed over to Chen Yu. Chen Yu did not break his promise and asked Xie Fan and his son to get some of the materials themselves. The two of them had no space to store props, and only a few tenths of them were filled after emptying their backpacks. For the rest, Chen Yu directly turned into a beetle and collected them all with the insect ring. Okay, let's get ready to go back. Chen Yu looked behind him. As he left the depths of the secret realm, the monsters began to return one after another. Xie Fan and his son now understood the reason why the monsters fled. They were afraid of Chen Yu. There was still more than a day left before the agreed 1 week. But Chen Yu didn't plan to stay any longer. The normal difficulty of Donja's secret realm could not cause him any trouble now. He was not sure about playing alone at the difficulty. If they cooperated, the price of a 30-level trainer would be extraordinary. None of the teams stationed in the Aurora camp by the professional association had 30-level professionals. Although there was only a 10-level difference between level 30 and level 20, the difference in ability was huge. If you want to hire one, the price might be 10 times that of Xie Fan. In terms of cost effectiveness, it's not worth it. Chen Yu thought about it, and his figure suddenly turned into a stream of light and disappeared on the spot. After the vision in front of him was restored, he was already in a small room. He cleared out all the materials accumulated in the insect ring at once. Except for a few of the best quality ones, he didn't plan to take the rest back. Go and ask the people in charge of purchasing at the base station to come over and sell all these materials. Just transfer the money from the sale to Yuan Yunying, she will give it to me. Chen Yu didn't plan to sell things here. He wanted to go back and calm himself down, and he didn't want to be watched by others here. How could a level 20 swordsman and 2 rookies get so many materials? Chen Yu left the room, returned to the parking lot and drove back to Nanchang University. Xie Fan contacted the base station management office and asked the official purchasing staff to come and collect the things. I say, Mr. Xie, you said a lot, how much is it? We come into contact with a lot of materials on a daily basis, in fact, you can just pull it over. The purchasing staff of the management office followed Xie Fan and said disapprovingly as they walked. As an official association, it has close ties with the country. The materials they come into contact with every day are really calculated by tons. In theory, Xie Fan's situation is not worth his trip at all. However, the hub of Nanchang base station has just been opened, so he has to do some face-saving projects and advertise it widely. So when the other party passed the hall, he also asked the companies gathered here to purchase. Now the main business of the professional company is the collection of New World materials, commonly known as gold farming. But the materials obtained by this method are not enough, so they will also send people to guard the transmission base station. The purpose is to directly purchase materials from people who come out of the secret realm, and then they will sell them uniformly. After a year of development, this business model has become very mature. After all, everyone used to trade in the same way. The professional company has mastered the sales channels and terminals, and they can know who needs materials more. Naturally, they can sell at a higher price than others, and the most important thing is that they can sell in large quantities. In order to save trouble, professional retail investors will generally sell to them. After all, the price purchased by the professional company is still higher than the official price. Hearing the purchase call from Nanchang base station, everyone followed. The base station has just been opened. I hope everyone will cooperate more in the future. We will only purchase a symbolic amount of Mr. Xia's materials this time, and the rest will be given to you. The purchasers responded one after another, giving thumbs up and praising the base station purchaser. Xie Fan had a calm expression, and just glanced at the base station purchaser. In his heart, he thought, it's you who made the decision, so you should bear the consequences yourself. For him, it doesn't matter who he sells to. The price of the professional company is a little higher, but I don't know if he can afford it. Xie Fan came to the room and swiped his ID card. The door opened, and a small mountain appeared in front of everyone. Plop! The tablet responsible for registration fell to the ground in the hands of the purchaser of the South City Transmission Base Station. The purchasers of the companies following behind all took a deep breath. There was almost no room left in the small room. All I could see were densely packed materials piled together. The quality of the materials varied, but without exception, they all had very high quantities. For professional companies, quality is not a problem. Quantity is. Except for a few companies and organizations with high-level professionals. They can have a special team to go to the secret realm or the new world for high-difficulty exploration and gold farming. But the remaining 99% of companies basically win by quantity. They frequently go in and out of the New World or the Secret Realm, rushing materials again and again, in order to ensure that their supply is stable enough. Because they supply factories and large companies with production capacity. Such organizations are most afraid of unstable supply, and the fluctuation of material grades has little impact. Seeing that the base station procurement was still stagnant, people from several companies nearby had already swarmed around Xie Fan. One by one, they took out their business cards and handed them up, while introducing themselves enthusiastically. Hello, Mr. Xie, I am a purchaser of the Golden Fist Professional Company, my last name is Liu. Mr. Xie, we are from the same family, my uncle is the boss of Dailyfa. Mr. Xie, we are a professional alchemy production company, I wonder if you are willing. Everyone introduced themselves or their business in a flurry. Xie Wei, who was not far away, was dumbfounded. However, thinking that he also had a part in sorting these materials, he also held his head high. Xie Fan was a professional trained by the Yuan family, and he used to be the driver of boss Yuan Yunying. He had seen quite a lot of the world, and he simply divided the situation in front of him and easily solved it. There were a lot of materials, and there were no big companies stationed in Nanchang. None of these purchasers could take them all. Xie Fan directly asked them to report the materials they wanted most, and those that had no competition would be sold in a package. If there is competition, either change the materials or increase the price. Simple and crude. He, Xie Fan, does not make a living from this. Besides, he does not have the ability to make so many materials. The original owner patted his butt and left early, and these people in front of him are not good enough. However, while negotiating, Xie Fan was full of emotion. He only went to the Secret Realm for a few days, and in such a short time, most of the materials were sold. All added up directly exceeded 4 million. Of course, this was because everyone cooperated for the first time, and those people wanted to please, so they increased the price. But even if it returned to the normal market price, Chen Yu's harvest this time could be sold for 3 million. 3 million a week, twice a month, it would be almost a small goal in a year. The prospects and future that ordinary people pursued hard, for the gifted, are just a piece of cake. Shaking his head, Xie Fan stopped thinking about it. At this time, the base station procurement finally came to his senses. He rushed to the pile of materials and stopped everyone from packing the last few materials. Just kidding, it's okay to make concessions on your own territory, after all, it's to attract popularity. But if you make concessions without gaining anything, it's unacceptable in the management office. The other party directly raised the price by 30% and bought the remaining materials from Xie Fan. In this way, the harvest of this trip directly reached 5 million. Xie Fan handed over to everyone one by one with a smile, and everyone completed the transaction with satisfaction. The news of the sale of the large batch of goods from the Nanchang base station also spread quickly in the internal network in the Nanchang business circle. But no one knew that the real owner of this batch of goods had returned to Nanjing University to rest. His return did not attract anyone's attention, as if he had never left the campus. The next day, Chen Yu continued to soak in the library to absorb and understand the information and intelligence of the new world. Yuan Yunying and others worked overtime in the studio to make equipment. In addition to fighting monsters and upgrading, life-related professions can also gain experience by successfully making equipment props. Xiaoyun, Akei, Mimi and Yuan Yunying are all talented professionals. After the initial run-in, the production ability began to improve rapidly. During this period, Yuan Yunying also submitted an organization application to the branch of the Nanjing University Professional Association. The association allows professionals to spontaneously form various forms of organizations. The purpose is to make everyone accustomed to cooperation. However, the requirements for creating an organization are not low, either there are sufficient level and strength requirements, or there are sufficient financial resources to support. This is not a problem for Yuan Yunying. She took people to inspect her studio. The organization was successfully created the next day, and the name was finally determined to be Torch. In the entire Nanchang University, there are only 5 organizations created by student forces. The rest either choose to join external organizations or institutions, or remain free and wait for the price. The Nanjing University Gemini is the latter. The school publicly announced that it would invest resources to cultivate the Gemini, and every day there would be a professional team hired to lead them to upgrade. At the same time, there are teams all over the country to give them equipment and skill books. Such treatment makes all Nanjing University students envious. But the Gemini is indeed very strong in both professional ability and personal strength. While everyone is envious, they don't think there is anything wrong with the school doing this. After all, the school did not ignore other students because of investing resources in the Gemini. Students of Nanjing University can apply for the necessary help and subsidies as long as they meet the requirements. Chen Yu did not apply because he was grinding materials this week. But after he officially became a member of the Torch organization, Yuan Yuning waved her hand and subsidized the members herself. As the only combatant in the organization, and providing a lot of materials, Chen Yu received the most subsidies. Until the night before the Aurora Novice Zone reopened, Yuan Yuning and her friends finally made the bear skin into equipment. Magic Bear Coat. Evaluation. Sea level, made by professionals. Coat made from the skin of the small commander level monster Twin Moon Magic Bear. If this bear skin is good enough for the bear, then it is also good for you. It is very heavy, but tough and warm enough. Agility -10, Constitution +80. Defense +100. Inlay 1. Snake beads, which can keep the coat at a constant temperature so that you won't die of heat. Inlay 2. Tough hemp tendons, which can strengthen the coat and reduce the impact of 100 values for you. Alchemical Edition. Double Circuit Magic Pattern, Magic +100, Magic Recovery +50. Most of the Twin Moon Magic Bear skin was made into a coat. Xiaoyun and the others all played to their strengths and added a lot of effects to it. This made Chen Yu quite satisfied. In addition to the bearskin coat, Yuan Yuning and the other three also made a vest for themselves. Such high-quality equipment was completed in the first cooperation. Yuan Yuning, Xiaoyun, and Mimi all upgraded by 2 levels. And Akei also made 5 sets of wristbands from the Beetle King's shell. Also upgraded by 2 levels. The wristbands are a set of 2, rated D, and can increase defense and physique after wearing. However, Chen Yu had the Spirit Tree wristband. He did not have a strong demand for this, so he took it and opened it directly after receiving it. The novice area will be reopened tomorrow. After making equipment for the past few days, I found that the level still has an impact on the production efficiency and effect. The remaining materials will be temporarily sealed. I think we should upgrade to level 10 first, and then we can start. In the tea area in the studio, Yuan Yuning said after distributing equipment to everyone. The higher the professional level, the less loss caused by manufacturing equipment, and the higher the success rate. For life alchemists like Mimi, the more skills they have after the level is increased, and the more effects they can produce. Therefore, it is best for life professionals to keep pace with each other and not just focus on making equipment. The only problem is that it is very difficult for life professionals to level up by killing monsters. After all, their skills are not suitable for fighting, and they need the help of the nanny team every time. This expenditure will make many life professionals unbearable. Yuan Yuning's words made Xiaoyun and others agree. When it comes to leveling up, everyone can't help but look at Chen Yu on the side. Chen Yu is a druid, and he has just moved back a bunch of materials 2 days after awakening. He went to the Danja secret realm and also brought back a batch of high-quality materials. Although Chen Yu has never been public, no one present thinks he is weak. If you want to level up, then Chen Yu must be a good team leader. The problem is, can Chen Yu take care of the 4 of them? Seeing everyone's eyes, Chen Yu also knows what they are thinking. Now he has a full understanding of the new world. At the same time, he also understands the abilities of the people in the Torch organization. It is no exaggeration to say that as long as Yuan Yuning and the others continue to develop, their future achievements will definitely not be low. Yuan Yuning's vision is worthy of his trust. As long as he brings them up, he will have a strong logistics team in the future. The equipment, materials and other things brought back will not be wasted. What's more, Yuan Yuning's family background also allows her to save a lot of trivial matters for Chen Yu. Chen Yu, this is the skill book I bought for you, Natural Healing. This is a druid skill, you can learn it in advance. With healing, our team will be safer. Yuan Yunying suddenly took out a skill book, which is different from the low-level identification skill, which is a wooden sign. This natural healing skill is in the style of a book, and the cover even glows with green light. As long as you consume one skill point, you can release a natural divine skill after learning it. The effect is to stabilize the injury and restore a small amount of vitality. Although it seems ordinary, the skills of healing and recovery on the market are very precious. Such a book is worth at least 500,000. Looking at Yuan Yunying's sly smile, Chen Yu also understood her idea. This is to firmly bind the relationship between Torch and Chen Yu. Mimi stretched lazily beside him. After I reach level 5, I can learn alchemical bombs, and then my output capacity will be greatly improved. I made a shield that can serve as a shield guard. Hearing Mimi's words, Akei also raised her hand and pointed to a large shield not far away. Blacksmiths have always had good physical attributes, so it is not impossible for them to serve as shield guards. In this way, we have basic protection capabilities, and we can hire a sparring team. No need for a sparring team, I can lead you myself. Chen Yu interrupted Yuan Yunying and stood up with a smile. If you hire a sparring team, the experience will definitely be shared after killing the monster. Not only will the upgrade speed slow down, but it will also be inconvenient for Chen Yu to show his ability. Instead of this, it is better for him to lead the fight himself. Hearing Chen Yu's words, Yuan Yunying and Mimi looked at each other secretly, showing an expression of, as expected. Xiao Yun and Akei also clenched their fists happily, without any doubt about Chen Yu's ability. Everyone is smart, and they have guessed what they should guess. The pile of materials sent by Chen Yu was originally for this purpose. After everyone finished discussing, they went to prepare materials for the Novice area. The next morning, they drove to the Aurora Novice area. On this day, almost everyone in Nanjing University left the campus. Along the way, you can see school buses or students' own private cars. After getting on the highway, you can also see special cars from major companies or institutions, etc. Everyone has been waiting for a week and can't wait any longer. Arriving at the Aurora Novice area camp, the environment here has changed a lot. Various modern buildings stand in an orderly manner, and there are special people responsible for inspection at the gate sentry. After entering, there is a special parking area, as well as a login area, rest area, trade area, etc. Now it is different from before. The official does not allow professionals to enter the new world casually in the car. That way it is not easy to manage, and there is no way to respond in time if something happens. The relevant procedures and affairs were handed over to Yuan Yunying, and Chen Yu led people to wait quietly in the login area. At this moment, a group of people suddenly walked towards them. The leader was a tall girl with big waves. Behind her, a dozen people surrounded her, including students and professional sparring professionals. Where is Yunying? I heard that she founded the Torch organization. Why are there only you guys? Big Wave was arrogant and raised her chin when she spoke. On Chen Yu's side, Mimi sneered and folded her arms. In terms of figure, no one can compete with her, and Big Wave is inferior to her. Sure enough, when seeing Mimi's action, Big Wave's expression twitched slightly. Shujia, if you have nothing to do, just go and flirt. What are you doing here? Hearing the two words Shujia from Mimi's mouth, Chen Yu realized that the big wave in front of him was one of the 3 golden flowers of Nanjing University. It is said that Shujia's family is a wealthy merchant. On the first day of school, more than 10 luxury cars sent her off. Later, she directly rented a dormitory villa in Nanjing University, showing her luxurious style. Just listening to Mimi's tone, this Shujia seems to be not getting along with Yuan Yunying. Chen Yu frowned slightly. I think these women are just a lot of trouble. We came here to go to the new world, why do we have to come here to provoke? At this time, Yuan Yunying also happened to come back. Seeing Yuan Yunying, Shujia suddenly became excited. Yunying, let's compete. See who reaches level 10 first. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.